Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I am the Doc, John Macaroon. Thanksgiving Thursday evening. Hope everybody ate well, drank well, hung out with family. I, like many, got to have another Thanksgiving ruined by the Detroit Lions. That's the annual tradition. The Lions arrive on Thanksgiving and they lose. You try and defend the Lions when Joe Burrow's like, as a child, I would sit, gather with my family, watch Matthew Stafford throw for 400 yards, and the Lions would lose the game. And of course, I went and saw the history, and jokingly, I said, well, there was a 3-year stretch where they won games and they lost a bunch. And the Lions have only won one Thanksgiving game in a long time. One last year. We're going to talk all about it. I'm frustrated because Dan Campbell, again, is giving mixed messages. I trust my defense, but I still go for it on fourth down. Yet I drain the clock in the fourth quarter. Do you trust your defense or do you not? If you trust your defense, kick the field goals. Why would you trust your defense in an offensive league? What evidence would you have in an offensive league to trust your defense? Because guess what? When you defend draining the clock, you say publicly, we're going to get the stop. You didn't get the stop. You didn't get the ball back. Game over. So the coaching strategy of your head coach has now come into focus, and there is a concern. Dan Campbell is not adapting to what he's seeing out on the field. Your offensive line's not good enough. Your offensive line took out your own guy early in the game. Step one. Frustrating. Two, first of all, if you're here to be happy and talk nonsense and be a slappy and tell me about pressure rates, please step off, go back, and go somewhere else. This is where the adults in the room talk realistically about the Lions. And realistically, we saw exactly in our manifested eyes what we want to see. We want to see a Micah Parsons hitting a quarterback. Unfortunately, it was yours. And everybody's like, well, that's not what Aiden does. If you're paying a guy $48 million, he better be doing the things that Micah Parsons does. And I know sacks are not the only number. Aiden does well, but Micah has impact. Impact is what these fans want to see. And yet everybody's like, oh, Aiden has all these pressures and all these numbers, and he's second and third. Well, guess what? Your defense gave up 31 points. And your defense made Jordan Love look good, and he played better than Jared Goff. Your defense has not played well for 2 games. Your defensive backs are up and down, but giving up too many explosive plays. And your coach is going for it on fourth down and signaling when you go for it on fourth down, that means you need as many points as possible because you don't trust your defense. But late in the fourth quarter, you want to drain the clock, take your sweet ass time, and then say, well, I know it's going to be a 1-possession game. I trust my defense. Why in the NFL does that word come out of these people's mouths? I trust my defense. I get it. You have good players on your defense, but where is the recency bias? Is there anybody on that coaching staff that has the ability to tell Dan, Dan, recently our defense hasn't played well. We should score a little bit faster so we have extra chances? Where's the recency bias? Is there anybody that has any sort of negativity to tell Dan Campbell other than, hey, whatever you're doing is right? 4 straight runs in the interior of your offensive line. That someone should have killed that after the second one. The first one should have never got through. All training camp, I screamed into this microphone on the Lone Wolves podcast, the rushes in the interior with Jahmyr Gibbs is not good. Bounce it off tackle. It doesn't work through the interior. I wrote 50 times. The worst plays that this offense ran in training camp were along the interior with a healthy Graham Glasgow. Yet he ran it 4 times in the interior with Jahmyr Gibbs to prove what? Have some respect for their defense. How are you going to run it 4 times? The shine is off Dan Campbell as a play caller. It wasn't good. It wasn't creative. And here's the frustrating part. Now, I know, guys, it's Thanksgiving, but I was frustrated watching that because they sniffed out all your trick plays because the trick plays you ran were all the same ones you did before. And you ran it and Jared Goff dropped one. They sniffed it out. Your opponents have been studying you. You got to adapt. You can't run the same similar style trick plays. You literally ran it to David Montgomery to throw the football? You think the Packers' Jeff Hafley is sleeping on the job? What are you doing? You have to, they were just like, well, we're going to practice the same stuff we know. It was a game that was frustrating in a lot of facets. The play calling wasn't elite, and the opponent played better than you offensively. They took it to you. They had the more explosive plays. And unfortunately, the refs cost you 2 touchdowns. And the pool report is purely laughable. They figured out, listen, Detroit's going to complain to all the high hell. Let's just repeat back our ruling and keep it moving as short as possible, short and sweet. The one that's more egregious, listen, the touchdown, clearly, you could say he got the ball, then got 1 foot down. Fine. Okay, the first one, whatever. But to call the worst, now, I thought, in this situation, I thought that we have literally run out of ways that officials can bone us. It's not. It's unlimited. The refs will bone us in unlimited ways, like a buffet. Unlimited ways, these officials are going to bone the Detroit Lions. A player jumps offside, flinches. Then the coach calls timeout. Clearly, it was done that way. They call it in the favor of the Packers. They score a touchdown, and then to rub it in our face. Literally, in the trolling of trollless moments, the coach of the Packers, Coach LaFleur, is asked, was that the right call by the officials? And he looks into the camera, big smile, indicating he knows he got away with one. He's like, these officials are stupid. Let's just do it. He winks and goes, of course they got it right. He winks. I do not deserve a Coach Riley winking at me in the camera. Of all the things to insult the Lions, it's at Ford Field. How are you getting disrespected with the calls in your own crib? How is that possible? In your own crib. Utterly disgusting situation that happened today on Thanksgiving. Everything that you didn't want to see. Micah Parsons is hitting your quarterback. 2.5 sacks. Oh, we like Aiden. I like sacks. I like big hits. Like everybody else. I like impact. But Doc, he helped stop the run. They scored 31 points. The defensive line did not enough. Clearly. Thank you guys for listening to that mini rant. Now it's going to be about you. If I'm wrong, listen, I'm emotional. I had 1 glass of bourbon. I posted it. I didn't drink their fine, established liquor. I'm polite. I ate well. I enjoyed the game, other than the clear discrepancy in how Dan Campbell's acting. Do you trust your defense or do you not? If you trust your defense, kick the field goals. But you can't say, listen, am I wrong? Okay? Because I'm Arabic, I run hot-headed, I'm emotional, and I'm desperate for wins. How do you say on one breath you trust your defense? Okay, and if I'm wrong, please tell me. I'm open-minded. Because I keep telling myself, okay, you're not crazy when you say these things. If you trust your defense, you kick the field goals. And you have your defense get you the ball back and try. So do you not trust your offense? But if you don't trust your offense, why are you going for it? And why are you calling run plays when you don't use David Montgomery in short yardage situations? So it sounds to me, by the sheer notion, step one, you don't trust your defense. And why would you? They were giving up big plays. But if you don't trust your defense, then you can't say you're draining the clock. You got to hurry up, score fast, so that if they score, you get the ball back. Football is not rocket science. I am not being hypercritical. I am not being annoying. I am not being mean. You can't say you trust your defense, then you put your defense out on the field and the game's over. You don't get the ball back. Why would you trust the defense in the NFL? They throw flags whenever they feel like it. The officials are boneheaded and ignorant. You don't trust your defense ever. Where's the recency bias? The Giants torched your defense. The Packers were torching your defense. Where do you get this trust from? Break the trust circle. There is no trust with defense. I don't care who you got. It's an offensive league, and they want points. And you just saw a couple weeks ago, Rock Ya-Sin make a good play, and they threw a flag on him. Why would you trust your defense? Hurry up and run your offense. No, we designed it to go nice and slow. When the clock was draining, everyone and watching was like, what's going on? but he defends it. Am I wrong? It's common sense. You can't say you trust your defense and then you go for it so much on fourth down and then you take your sweet ass time and say, I'm going to trust my defense some more. It's a frustrating loss. It puts you at 7-5. It puts you in a big, deep hole. You're in trouble. I think you get to the postseason, but you're not going to go through Seattle, LA, Philly, and win a Super Bowl. Come on. And tell the Slappies stop with the pressure stats with Hutchinson. We saw with our own eyes what a game looks like from what we want. It could be wrong, but Dan Campbell is so much, and it's so easy to see. He sees players that he loves effort. Congratulations. Effort is the lowest ceiling you need in a player. I need stats. Stats. Sacks are stats that these fans like and I like. I like seeing a defensive end go up against Taylor Decker, put a move on him, and smash the quarterback. Did you see that with Micah Parsons? He did it to not only Taylor Decker, and then a handful of plays later, he does it to Penei Sewell running through the inside. I want to see that. Hits. Hit the quarterback and bring him down. Don't tell me pressures and hits and lie to me. Don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. Sacks are key. Sacks. Bring the quarterback to the ground for minus yards. Sacks. It's simple as that. Simple as that. It's an important stat that somehow or another people have dismissed. Well, because we do this. Listen, Dan Campbell, I get it. You were a tight end. You were a grinder. You were a guy that believed that the hardest workers win. Yes, that's a component of winning, but talent wins. Talent. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams. You don't go and pay Aiden Hutchinson far. Maybe you could have waited to pay Aiden Hutchinson. I know you were taking a gamble. If he has 20 sacks, it might have gone to $55 million. But if he's got 20 sacks, you're happy to pay it. Now this fan base is questioning the move that you made because he disappeared in 2 straight games that are critical. We need you how many sacks did Aiden Hutchinson have? All the pressures, all the things he does against the run. I get it. How many sacks does he have the last 2 games? It's an important stat. 0. It's important. It's not something you just say, well, let's just take away this stat. It's a category that people rank. You can't just dismiss it. It helps. There's a chance you take out the quarterback, knock the ball out. There's so many good things about sacks. I don't care what his pressure rate is. I care how many times does he bring the quarterback to the ground and hit him and put him in the dirt. But I got to see that from Micah Parsons twice. And he's flexing. And they sweep you. Trust your defense is not something I want to hear in the NFL. Especially not the last 2 games when this defense has not played well. Kick the field goal. This fan base has said, great. We understand you know how to read the analytics. You understand it. But there is no consideration. You have 3 new offensive linemen. Tate Ratledge is a rookie. Tristan Colon. Coyote Awosika. Why are you running it on 4th down? Why? Well, you called a great play to JMO, but the pass was not executed. This fan base didn't deserve to see that. Where your opponent has an outside linebacker playing well, they're making the plays, they're delivering the hits, they're having all the touchdowns, and they're getting the benefit of the calls in your crib. In your crib. Let me shout out the early 300 people. Thank you for hopping in on Thanksgiving, listening to me rant and rave. But I was frustrated watching that quietly. Now I get to let out my passion for how awful another Thanksgiving loss is to drop to 7-5. 40 Phenom, shout out to you. Big M53, Patty Grimes, DM5 TV, King Jeffy Juffer, 9119, Reggie White, N5S, Theo, KV7CJ, 40 Phenom, Flair Savage. I love having all of you in here. Let's get to some of your comments. I'm pissed, quite frankly. What's your reaction to the Detroit Lions 31-24 loss to the Packers? I did not need to see their coach wink at me in the press conference. Why? The official that they had today just looks like a guy that's lost. Does that guy that they showed you look like he has command of what's going on? Why? Why are we subjected to this kind of standard in your own crib? I'm curious your guys' reaction. Am I wrong for my opening thoughts? It doesn't make sense. You can't trust your defense and then go for it that much and then drain the clock. Kick the field goal, get within a possession. Even Connor Stallions, the cheater, is calling you out. And I have to respect it because I answered him. So let me tell you what he said and what I said. And then I'm going to get to you guys. Because you're going to see my face turn 50 shades of red, how frustrating that was. As we speak, the Lions are now basically, mathematically, it's tough to become a division winner. You're going to have to be road dogs in the playoffs, unless the Packers collapse. The Packers have swept you, and you've lost 3 games in the division after owning the division the last couple of years. Your road to the playoffs is tough. People are talking you got to go 4-1. And I didn't even talk about yet that you just lost your star wide receiver 1 to 2 weeks, if they're lucky. It's frustrating is that was friendly fire from Coyote Awosika, who dove down to the ground, but unfortunately, Amon-Ra was there. So I joked with Connor Stallions. I said, you want me and you go to the Ram sideline next week? Let's get some information. He says, if you respect his opinion, Connor Stallions at CP Stallion says, screw analytics, screw gut feeling, screw quote unquote mentality. Always add a possession to your lead and always cut your deficit down a possession when you can. Make field goals great again. Take the 3. Take the 3 points. Perfectly said by Connor Stallions. Cut the deficit down to 7 and keep it moving. We'll start off with King Jaffe. Mark my words, we go 9-8. Frank can't save the Lions now. Everybody that's in here, the early 300 people across 2 platforms, if you're on X, smash the like button, smash the hearts, hit retweet, comment. Here, hit the like button for me. Let's try to get to 100 likes over the next hour and a half. Probably got me till 10 o'clock, maybe longer. I could scream for probably 2 hours. When you lose a game like that, an important game that should have went your way with a couple different calls, it's frustrating. And it is ironic. I'm not going to use those 3 letters, but it is ironic that now Frank Ragnow comes back. You're going to laugh at the headline that we put out tomorrow. You guys know what the headline is already. DeVito's going to write a scathing column. He's not happy either. Things are falling apart. It's too much. It's too much to overcome. The injury report is longer every single week. And I'm not even going to bring up probably today, besides this, that Josh Pascal is a draft pick that you got nothing out of. Another draft pick to that list. Frank Ragnow for Amon-Ra St. Brown. I wouldn't take that trade. What are you going to get from Frank Ragnow? He's not going to save you. Like we all get, it was nice for 24 hours, but he's not going to come back and save the Detroit Lions. He's going to be a piece that maybe helps Goff get a little bit more accurate, but my goodness, Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, Tate Ratledge, Coyote Awosika, they got to do a lot more things. 9-8, according to King Jaffe. Hopefully, had a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully, cheers to you and your family. I think they still go 10-7, but they're going to have to get help. They could go 10-7 and not make the playoffs. The keys to wisdom, shout out to you. Dan flat out lost the Philly game. Minnesota and Green Bay, he cost the team too. Head coaching has been so bad this year. Do you guys agree that Dan Campbell has not called plays all that eloquently? And guys, it's straightforward. It's predictable. The great defensive coordinators that you're facing that know you and study you, they know what's coming. It's predictable. It's predictable, and it's getting stuffed. It's getting stopped. And I'm going to use this analogy because I thought about it. when I was driving home. Jahmyr Gibbs is Dan Campbell's Buzz Lightyear. He found the new toy. What about Woody? What about David Montgomery? When he's been in there, he provided you a spark. But Dan Campbell loves his Buzz Lightyear. He loves the speed, loves the spark. You forgot about Woody. You left him in the toy box. You forgot about your guy. Don't you remember what happened last year? Don't you remember the great memories when you were winning games with David Montgomery? You found this new toy and you want to use him on 3 straight rushes, 4 straight rushes. You want to use him in the interior? What do you want to prove to me? You don't have to prove to me anything. I'm just a guy reflecting back what I'm seeing. Honestly, what the fans are seeing. Don't forget about Woody. Don't forget about David Montgomery. He can add to you a 4th and 3, 4th and 2. Give it to David Montgomery. I declared on X at Detroit Podcast, as your offensive coordinator, I declare to you people, you fine citizens of Detroit, that on 4th and 3, the ball goes to David. Because if I don't, he'll get me a yard. If it's 4th and 2 or 4th and 1, I'll give it back to David again to get the first down. And then I'll go back to my Buzz Lightyear and see if he cracks one. Dan fell in love with the toy and won't use the other one. You forgot about Woody, man. David Montgomery has a role. He was part of the winning formula. Happy Thanksgiving, Keys to Wisdom. I always enjoy reading your stuff. Jaffu. Cowboys beat Lions, then Lions behind them in the playoff pecking order. Next week's going to be must win. It's just simply put must win, and that's not going to be easy. Cowboys are going to be confident. They're going to want revenge. They're going to have CeeDee Lamb. And you're going to have Aiden spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. The ball comes out, and he's right there, pressure. I love it. I got sent that, Patty Grimes 9188. I was talking about playoff scenarios at Detroit Podcast, and my buddy sent me the age-old Jim Mora. Playoffs? Doc, you're talking playoffs to us on this YouTube? We just want to win a game. We just want to get a 4th down. We just want to see 3 points go up in the board. We just want to see Jake Bates. And you knew when I asked Dan Campbell about Micah Parsons and he did that, I trust my offensive lineman, he was going to get a sack on both of them. The cosmic universe had to make it go down like that. Man, the one sack he beat Taylor Decker, and it wasn't even close. Man. 2.5 sacks, impact. He hits Jared Goff. Like everybody, hopefully their defensive lineman Wyatt bounced his head off the ground. Hopefully he's okay. Nobody wanted to see that. Lone Wolf calls it. Lone Wolf 026 on the Lone Wolves podcast, made possible thanks to OnSI. Please, for the kindness of Thanksgiving, hit the like button. Let people know there's a real dude that will come on Thanksgiving and spit it real. And if you believe in what others say, Doc, Aiden's good. Don't be a new. You can't declare I'm a box score reader only. I'm watching the games. I'm as intently involved as all of you. But you guys were right. Aiden needs to do more. Why are you guys mad at him? Because when you pay someone $48 million, which he isn't earning yet, but when you've been given that tab as being the guy that has prevented Danielle Hunter from coming here, the guy that's prevented, Aiden has blocked Micah Parsons. So Aiden blocks Micah Parsons, and then you turn around and point the finger at me and say, I want Aiden to just get pressures and no sacks. Aiden blocked Micah. Aiden blocked Myles Garrett. Aiden blocked Max Crosby. Because you have Aiden, according to your general manager, you don't get anybody else. So it's on him. So spin a Rooney and get to the quarterback and bring his ass to the ground. It's not crazy to ask that. But we will not discount the fact that he's impactful. He takes attention. But you don't have enough when Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, and Tyleek Williams are not known as sack artists. And Josh Pascal and Mekhi Wingo are absent. They're not doing anything for you. Who's getting the sacks? And you need Brian Branch in coverage until he decides to stop. Hey, dear Brian Branch, the play ain't over till the whistle. Why'd you stop? Everybody was confused at that. Why'd you stop? Are you thinking what Lone Wolves is thinking? Is the playoff run over? I just think that clearly there's a lot of holes for this team to fix, and Frank Ragnow's not it. A 29-year-old guy that took 6 months off, that had 1 foot out the door. Typically, psychologically, they always say if a player has 1 foot out the door, you don't want him back. Desperation. It's desperate. What happened today with Dan Campbell? What was going on with those calls? Patty Grimes, Calvin Shepard needs to watch more defensive tapes. Yeah, I don't think that the tape the last 2 weeks has put him in NFL circles to get a head coaching job. Patty Grimes also says, Brad, quit trading 3 third-rounders for just 1 player. Theo, yeah, no sacks in regulation the last 2 games. He got the 1 in overtime. Hutch got 1 sack versus the Giants on the last play via Theo KV7CJ. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And it's clear, right? And again, I'm going to repeat myself. Holy cow, 30 minutes flew by. I love it. You can tell how much I love it. 30 minutes flew by. Wow, I feel like I've ignored you guys. My humble apologies. Hutch has been good, but he's nowhere near Myles Garrett or Crosby yet. You need him, though. That's what you need. And so that's what I love about you guys as Detroiters. You expect greatness. You demand greatness. You don't accept anything less than that. When the media or anybody's like, but Aiden's got all these pressures, and look what he's this. He got the second highest PFF grade. Shove it up your ass. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. How many sacks did he get? Did he make impactful plays? Did he knock the ball out? He's the leader of forced fumbles. Did he get a forced fumble today? He's turned into John Cena. I can't see him. I saw his pinstripe suit. I didn't see Aiden Hutchinson make an impact today to the degree in which you want. He will get there. Guys, it's Aiden Hutchinson. He's coming back off of injury. I do expect that at 27, 28, 29, when he hits his peak prime as a defensive end, you will see more impact. But right now, when you need him most this year, it ain't happening. That defensive line is not pressuring the quarterback. You're giving up far too much time, and you are not impacting and getting turnovers to the degree that gives your offense more possessions. You're not making momentous game-changing plays on defense. Robert Dixon, 1440, shout out to you. Humbly loving reading your comment. Thank you for hopping in. Love the show. We're cooked, Doc. Brad have to spend get pass rush, need a play caller. We most likely miss the playoffs. We're dysfunctional top to bottom. Shout out to you. Love your profile pic. Want to hear more from you. I appreciate it. I love that you guys are tuning in. 450 people across 2 platforms. Hit the like button. Any super chats, go right to the front of the line. Get your comment read to everybody. And if you want to become a member, you get now 3 emojis and more. The more members we get in this channel, the more I can add. The Crunch Time fellas and myself. If you sign up, $4.99 a month. You support us. You support journalists. You keep Vito, Christian, Emmett. And humbly, I have to brag to them. They predicted the Packers would win. I was the lone reporter on our site that picked the Lions to win. Egg on my face. Maybe that's why I'm mad. They were right. I was a homer. But I thought the Lions would come in and do something a little bit different. Dan Campbell's play calling is not elite. It's not like play calling is not like riding a bike. I was wrong. I thought he was going to come in and just cook up some new plays, make it run smoother. Unfortunately, having a Ferrari and Jahmyr Gibbs makes it a little bit difficult on short notice to be more elaborate. But this is a problem. You got a big home run threat in Jahmyr Gibbs, but you bogged down at worst times. Justin May, the rapper, always good seeing you. It was a bad game. Green Bay chested the Lions. The Lions should have won it. I'm ticked off about the game, as you should be. What's your guys' emotion following that game? Flair vs. Savage. Stupid trick plays blew 2 drives. Yeah, they're predictable. Man, when I saw David Montgomery throw the ball, I was like, oh my God, that should have been a pick. Justin May, shout out to you. Flair, Savage, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully your plate had turkey and ham on it. Aiden Chris, Z70. Micah Parsons has been balling. I hate the Packers. He's on a tear. Yeah, and I love it. The fan base of Detroit was like, no, he's not good against the run. No, he's not good against the run. No, he's just now 2-0 against you in the division. This fan base wants, this fan base wants the coaching staff and Brad Holmes to love him so much that they're just not willing to see what's right in front of them. And let me get to my point, and I'll leave your comment up, Aiden. We're not good. That's what started from me in February. I said, Brad, why don't you get another defensive end? He's like, what do you mean? I want 6 of them. Well, you have 1. But you have 1. We got 1. Well, what's better? Is elementary? I'm 1 bourbon in, but isn't 3 defensive linemen, 3 defensive ends better than 1? You have 1. Marcus Davenport's working his way back from injury. I think he survived this game. We'll see him again. But you got 1. Isn't 3 better than 1? In my mind. So you told us you have, and here's the thing that has always been, in my mind, the difference between me and a lot of fans. A lot of fans are like, we got enough. And I've always been like, until we have a ring, I can never say we have enough. Never, ever, ever. Never. You got Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. Half of them are going to fall off the map. You guys got mad at me for saying bring on Garrett Wilson. I just said bring on a stud. Get somebody else. More. Until you have a ring, more. Why? Subconsciously, half of them are going to fall off and land on the injury report. So more is my opinion. But this organization, in my mind, and if I'm wrong, let me know. They get so bogged down that this guy's got to be an absolute dog and love football. He's got to have all these traits that say he's going to be resilient. And we'll take a B- player over an A+ player that doesn't love football. No, football is about talent, killers, dogs. And if he takes 2 plays off but has 4 sacks a game, let him take 2 plays off. I don't care if he's a guy that does things outside the facility that you don't like. He doesn't pray. He's not a good Christian. I don't care. If he gets you 4 sacks and will come to Detroit, sign him. The Lions have a checklist of guys that they will draft that they have to have. Or they won't trade for him, they won't draft him. Talent. It's about talent. It's about, can you come in and make plays right now? And you chose to develop Mekhi Wingo, who's undersized, no contributions. Josh Pascal, leader, never got on the field. Giovanni Manu, the longer Brad Holmes has been here, there's a lot more draft picks not working out. Levi Onwuzurike had a history of injury. You go out in free agency, you get Emmanuel Mosley, Hendon Hooker, Broderick Martin. Second round, Ennis Rakestraw. History of injury. You need guys that are going to contribute. In a Super Bowl window, we need these guys now. Right now. The season's basically hanging on by a thread. Dan said, I didn't want to be in a hole 11 games into this season. Does anybody else think that when Dan says we're in a hole, that doesn't make me happy? That pisses me off. We're in a hole. You made a mistake then. When you went with your offensive coordinator, didn't have experience calling plays, you should have went with somebody else. Now, it's true that Dan Campbell, it's fair to say that him calling plays is taken away from his skill in game decisions. He can't do both. You're 7-5. That's not where I thought they'd be with 5 games left. SW Lions, you got to bring the mood down. Am I wrong with what I'm saying? Dan Campbell, everybody saw it, did not call a great game today as a play caller. All up the middle carries to Gibbs. Why the hell didn't they run Parsons? Run at Parsons. They should have had two guys hitting him every time they ran at him. Did they run at Parsons at all? We got to give love to a Packers fan. Listen, if you're going to come in here and say that, we'll respect it. You guys swept us. Listen, we talk a lot of junk. I talk junk to Peter. It's Thanksgiving. You know what I want to say, how I say his name. Peter B. If you see his last name, you know what an idiot like me is thinking in my head. Peter B. I said Lions by 14. Listen, A-Tran 85, happy Thanksgiving to you. Go Pack, go. You guys won. You swept the division this year. The North is now not run by the Lions anymore. But your coach almost blew it. He wanted to, but he's slick. That was slick to try and do that with the timeout. Slick for the Packers. And I do believe, listen, I have to agree with Jaden Reed and your tight end, you're better. You would have been better today. Lions have issues. It was a smart move. Momentum changing move to get Parsons at the beginning of the year. You guys like your outside linebacker. You found yours for the next decade, and he had impact today. Credit to you guys. Hopefully you have a good Thanksgiving. But, here in Detroit, FTP, baby. I'm sorry. Hopefully you flame out again to the Cowboys. Or flame out again somewhere else. Chief IT Hips, shout out to you and the fam. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm tired of Dan Campbell's excuses. Yeah, listen, nobody in Detroit is going to like the word cleanup. Clean up at Ford Field, clean up at Allen Park. It ain't happening. It's a talent thing. That's Brett. It's just Dan Campbell's crutch. We're going to clean it up. Clean up at Allen Park. It's not happening. You don't got the talent. It's just one of those deals. Too many injuries. You went into the year thinking you had Frank Ragnow. You didn't, and you got 3 new offensive linemen. You're starting safeties out. You're starting tight ends out. And you still had a chance to win. That's the crazy part about all this. You still had a chance to win had you coached it properly. Give yourself a better chance to win. Just kick the field goal, Dan. I know you want to be aggressive, but you don't have as good a team. I know you love your guys and you trust them. The trust circle with you is strong. The trust bond is strong. Trust less. Trust me. Trust less. Trust less. Get into reality. The reality is it's an offensive league, and some of the opponents have figured you out. They adjust, you adjust. So their adjustments to our adjustments are a little bit better than our adjustments to their adjustments. The Packers sniffed out your trick plays, and your quarterback dropped one. The quarterbacks, Jared Goff lost his mojo. Jared Goff, under duress, has lost the mojo. But 40 minutes of complaining. At least let's credit the offense for adapting and getting Kennedy and Tesla involved. They kept it moving at some points, and they had one of the drives of the year. And once the Packers scored a touchdown, the Lions rebounded and came right back and scored a touchdown on one of the most beautiful drives. But then it bogged down again. That end of game sequence was wrong. You should not have drained the clock. I mean, I have always, and all the Lions coaches trust the defense. I've screamed it too. Trust your defense. But you show me you trust your defense when you kick the field goal and let them play defense. You're telling me you don't trust them when you go for it that much. You're telling me that you don't trust your defense when you go for it that much. So if you don't trust your defense, why are you then saying in the fourth quarter late, you're draining the clock because you trust the defense, they're going to get it back? Did you get it back? You didn't get the ball back. The Packers made the plays. But the Packers made a spectacular catch to end the game. Yes, he did. And guess what? Ball game over. There is no trust the defense. It's an offensive league. So let's just start with, it's an offensive league. Run your offense. Get as many humanly points as possible and stop with the fourth down with this team. With this team, it's over. Nobody wants to see it. Even if you convert, we don't want to see it. Kick the field goals. It's just customer service for the fans of the Lone Wolves podcast. We want field goals. We want field goals. That's it. That's what the customers want. We could be wrong. You know who? List them all. Exactly. Sorsdahl, Manu, Vaki. The list is bad. Guys, again, I've always said Brad owes me a Super Bowl. That 23 team could have won a Super Bowl if you made an aggressive 2 moves at the deadline. Not Donovan Peoples-Jones. Our defensive end. The guy from New Orleans that we were all talking about. Maybe in Detroit he would have did something. Chase Young. You have one defensive end, and Aiden Hutchinson has blocked everybody else. So if he's blocking everybody, he's got to do more. I'm frustrated. Irv Gotti, the more I'm talking, the more I'm getting pissed off. My ears are red. Maybe I'm angry, but maybe Goff should sit on the bench like the Atlanta Falcons did and try to regroup next year. Irv, I love your passion, but that's not happening. He gives you the best chance. I appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. Keep them firing. The chat's hot. I love it. 500 people. We're growing. Smash the like button. Super chats. Low as $1, $2. Help the stream. Doc is right on. Talent. And the offensive line does not have it. Experience is lacking too. Yeah, exactly. And that's a big picture kind of thing. The Lions love grit and love of football. Just a little bit. And of course, they have to have talent, but it's okay to bend a little bit on talent if you know your guy's going to do something. That's all. And again, it's philosophical. If you're going to come out publicly and say these draft picks we have are not going to make the team, and the 24 and 25 class haven't been all that impactful outside of a couple guys, this year you're getting some contributions from Ratledge and Isaac Tesla, but it's still not a lot. Tyleik Williams last year. If you're not going to get these guys on the team, then trade them away for some players. You were right, Gumby. 7777. There are a lot of projects that could have helped this team. I mean, just think of it like this, okay? No general manager is going to hit on everybody. But when people say that, that's fine. But you need to hit on a lot more as a Lions organization. The football gods hate you. The football gods laugh at you. In your own crib, the refs are saying that a guy called a timeout before a guy flinched when the big, fat offensive lineman, 350 pounds, they couldn't see it. A big, fat offensive lineman moved, and they couldn't see it before a white head coach called a timeout. And you think that the football gods are going to bestow upon you all these gritty guys just coming together and organizing? No, hell no. You need all the talent in the world. Trade 5 draft picks for 5 guys. You need not just a 1 guy. You need 6 guys every deadline because your 6 starters are going to fall apart. They're going to get hurt. More. If they get 1, say they need 2. If they get 2, say they need 3. Until this team brings a ring, the answer is more. Why would you settle? Why would you say I need less than more? Just like Thanksgiving. We have a Thanksgiving philosophy here at the podcast. You got 2 defensive ends, I want 3. You got 2 wide receivers, I want 4. You got 1 Tom Kennedy, I want 2. Greed is good. Talent is good. Talent acquisition is the key to Super Bowls. You don't have any. Dan's like ham, turkey. No, I want ham, turkey, mashed potatoes, pasta, salad, dressing, more dressing. Why am I taking food off the plate? I want all of it. You got Jared Goff. I want Shedeur Sanders too. And I want Kirk Cousins. And I want this. And I want that. Why are we stopping? People are like, the dumbest thing I heard today was I said, man, I'm really enjoying the game Micah Parsons is having. They're like, you always say that about the good players. I said, yeah, they're good players. They're making plays. Why wouldn't I say I like them? I'd love them on any good player. I'd love them on the Lions. $40 phenom. We as fans deserve better than this. Grit in my ass. They have grit. They're tough. They battled. But the whole formula is not working where coaching, offense, defense, special teams stay healthy. It's not all coming together. Dan Campbell is stubborn. We all know it. It's clear. We all said it from San Francisco that, okay, your first year, you're a renegade. You know the deal, but you don't have the team to be a renegade. You don't have it. Guys, I mean, literally, you're getting a guy that's been retired for 6 months that was shooting guns, hunting. Now, granted, I was excited too because I was just hoping that Jared Goff would stop getting his ass beat every week. But it's disheartening. Chief IT Hips with a $4.99 super chat. God bless you. Thank you. Brad Holmes failed again, not getting an edge for the last 2 years. His stubbornness is becoming annoying, and worst of all, it's hurting this team. That one bothered me the most was the complete lack of understanding. Like, I can understand where they're coming from. They say we've won games this way. We've won some playoff games this way. I get it. But from the other side, the complete lack of understanding of why we want defensive ends. What are you talking about? Here's the complete. Okay, this is where it started for me. I watched the team last year that won the Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl in a game that 50 million people watched. That also includes your fan base. Your fan base saw that they pressured the quarterback without blitzing with their defensive line. You know, the unit that plays opposite of the offensive line, it's called a defensive line, where you have a defensive end and you have a defensive tackle and a nose tackle and another defensive end. Those 4 dudes on the Eagles effed up the Chiefs without blitzing. How many blitzes did the Eagles have last year in the Super Bowl? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 0. They pressured the quarterback without blitzing, with a defensive line, multiple defensive ends, talented defensive linemen. And you're like, oh no, Jalen Carter's not for us. Jalen Carter's not for us. I think that I wanted to blast that into Ford Field every time he kept swatting the ball. Jalen Carter's not for us. Jalen Carter's not for us. As he's swatting your quarterback. What are you talking about? And so we all saw that. We're all like, we like that. Oh, we like your safeties. We like your linebackers. We like your quarterback. We like your offensive line. We don't like your defensive line. We don't like your ends. We think that Aiden could be better if you got a better defensive end than what you got. That's all we were saying. He's like, but I want to get 6 of them. Bro, I'm not asking for 6. I'm not asking for 3. I'm asking for like 2. 2 really good ones. You weren't paying Aiden. You weren't paying JMO. You didn't make those commitments yet. Take their money and pay someone else. Take their money and pay someone else. Outside, external was not the dirty word that the Lions made it out to be. It's not dirty. It's not dirty. You got burned by bringing back Davenport again when the whole fan base told you that. The whole fan base told you, it's going to be dangerous. I'm not using the word failure. It's a different philosophy that's not as aggressive in free agency and trades that he should be. And again, I don't know how it's going to be spun, but if you thought that not getting an offensive lineman because you thought Frank Ragnow was coming back, that's just laughable. That's just laughable. It's going to take Frank Ragnow a game or 2 to get into this. The crazy part about the whole thing, Chief, is you might not even be able to qualify for the playoffs by the time he steps foot on the field. Make sure you read Vito's column tomorrow. The headline will be direct and to the point. Shout out to you. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate the 550 people. The stream keeps growing. Super chats are welcome. Memberships. Please smash the like button. You're right. Our best chance was 2 years ago to win a Super Bowl. Should have been aggressive. Yeah, he paraded Donovan Peoples-Jones out there. Now, I'm biased. I'm like, Donovan Peoples-Jones? He paraded him in there. He stormed in the media room like he was happy. I was like, okay. I mean, he had one good year, but I don't think that's going to do much for you. He did nothing. He did literally nothing. Doofus named Rufus. I wonder if Broderick Martin's still available. Big Wolf status? Sure. Shout out your podcast. I love to check it out. You keep it real. Love it. Big Wolf status. What was your take? What'd you keep it real about? Feel free. Shout out your podcast on the chat. All new members get the emojis. You can get the Crunch Time crew and myself. We got about 3 dozen right now. It's pretty sweet. Anon Nathan 6851. The formula is mediocrity, not Super Bowls. You might just have set me off. Not your comment, but these general managers have found the ultimate hustle on these owners. Oh my God. Heaven forbid I became an owner. I could never do it because I don't have the 24. I cannot only go on 3 hours sleep and have 50 million jobs. I just like talking on the internet and writing. But I would be like Jerry Jones. I'd be all up in the media and being like, I don't care. I would say, do not ever say publicly the word sustained success. I don't care about that. We will do it this way. My first meeting in the press would be like this. We don't care about sustained success. We care about every single year winning a championship. And we're going to do whatever it takes every single year. And of course, you want to have more chances, but we're not going to call it that. We're going to take chances calculated to build a football team that's going to win a Super Bowl. I don't care about sustained success. Brad told you that this wasn't a Super Bowl year with the moves that he made. He told you. He told you when I asked him when I asked, my alarms were raised. Quite frankly, I tweeted it at Detroit Podcast. I asked Brad Holmes, why is this team a Super Bowl team? And he gave a cliche answer. He had to get picked up by his teammate, Ray Agnew. The assistant general manager gave a better answer than Brad did. Because Brad didn't believe it. With young offensive linemen and a first-year play caller? Come on. So to me, I had the highest ceiling for this team this year was to get to the Super Bowl and lose. That was my ceiling. I had them at, I think, at 12-5. If they didn't have injuries, they could have hit it. Shemitic descendant, 3138. Good to see you. Someone's going to be sleeping in your bed. Someone's going to be eating your food. That is what happened to the Lions at home today. That's what I felt. The officials couldn't see the big fat lineman flinch over a timeout. What an embarrassment. You have not reached national status yet. And this is what got me on the map, guys. And this is what happened. I used to do a podcast, and I still do it with Adam Strozinski. And it was the Seattle game on Monday Night Football. And the dude punched the ball out. It was a clear rule. They didn't call it. And it was the second or third time that Jim Caldwell had experienced this. So we went on a podcast, and Adam and I screamed for 45 minutes using every obscenity that we could think of, saying, Jim Caldwell, stand at that podium and rip those GD officials who are so stupid they're going to keep doing it. And I said, and I screamed it to the point I lost my voice barely. The next episode, I screamed so loud, I said, if you don't stand there, take a fine and tell this dumb ass league to stop boning you, they're going to bend you over and keep doing that to you day after day, week after week. There's a new way they're boning you. They have found, knocking over my stuff. They have found new ways to bone you. A guy flinches and a coach calls timeout and they choose the coach over the live play. The league is going to bone the Lions until they make it stop. Stand up there, Dan Campbell, stand at that podium and take a fine and say, hey, that was bogus, especially when their coach is winking in the camera. That is enough for a fine. Get the checkbook out tomorrow or Saturday when you talk to the media and you be like, this officiating standard is god-awful. It's hard enough for us to try to win when I'm trying to call plays and do 2 jobs on 4 days rest and your dumbass officials can't see shit. Stop it. There should be a standard of, hey, the whole world saw it. The entire world saw it. You can't change it? Hey, wait a minute. We are embarrassing our product. We are embarrassing the Detroit Lions organization. And then the Packers coach is embarrassing the league with a wink to the camera. Of course they got it right. He should have just said no comment. That's infuriating. Yeah, no shit, SW. The big fat man moved, and then the guy called timeout. They have a replay. What if they had something that could show you what happened first? It cost plays. It cost you points. They would have had to kick a field goal, and then they got a touchdown. What the hell? If they had a system to get things right, just get it right. That's one of the ones where New York should call down and be like, hey. All right. An hour complaining. My goodness. I thought I'd be done by now. But I got more. Dan Campbell calling plays I thought would go better than this. Trust me. I thought this was the dream scenario. Dan Campbell calling plays. We're back in the penthouse. Literally. So Dan can't be mad at me. When he took over to call plays and they curb stomped, was the Commanders? When I saw it on the TV, the song in my head was, "We're back in the high life again. All the doors that closed one time have opened up again." All the doors that were closed by John Morton were open. But since then, what the hell happened? I'm back in the dumpster again. It's rudimentary. It's not beating the defensive coordinators you're facing. You're not getting pressures. Your defense it's always this way. Calvin Shepard calls the defense firefighters and begs Dan Campbell to go for it all the time. And then they give up. What is it? Has it been 2 games in a row over 30 points? It's a challenge. It's frustrating. It's annoying because everybody wants success for the Lions. And Thanksgiving on the Lions is not fun anymore. I'm not at the point where I say take it away. But first and foremost, at 1 o'clock sucks. Push it back to noon. If we're going to get our tail kicked in, I want the pain. I want to get kicked in the nuts at 3 o'clock, not at 4:15, not at 4:20. I want to get kicked in the nuts at 3, start drinking at 3:30, and then reading all the slappies and their excuses. Dan Campbell supports his own decisions. Yeah, no shit he does. Dan Campbell defends fourth quarter decisions. What kind of headline is that? Dan Campbell defends his choices, but they lost. I mean, of course he's going to defend his own choices. Dan Campbell shreds his own decisions. Dan Campbell defends choices that resulted in a loss. You know how insulting that is to read that as a headline? Just think about that conceptually. Just think about that conceptually. And I'm going to share it too. Because conceptually, maybe I'm just a common pissant, but it sounds stupid as a headline. And I tell my guys, don't do that. Because of course he's going to defend his decisions. Of course he is. What's he going to say? Man, my decisions were pretty shitty today. Actually, I was a little bit wrong. He said the headline is Dan Campbell addresses criticisms. But in the story, it says he defended. He said, hey, we're going to get the ball back. King Jaffe, that's the whole point, baby. Crack open a beer, sit back. Hopefully, I'm making some sense as I'm just so mad at what's happened. Listen, you didn't have to be the Rams, but you didn't have to be 7-5. You've gone too far off the beaten path. Nothing's gotten corrected. We're going to correct it. I think we should use different vernacular, Mr. Campbell. We're not going to correct these things. The offensive line has new talent. You just got to, you know what, for the next 3 weeks, just say we got to execute better. Just pick something different other than the word correct. Come incorrect, use different language. Appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving. C. Jade. The question is, was this the game the playoff window officially closed? No, the window's not closed. The Super Bowl window for 2025 shut. You want me as a professional to say the Lions are going to go on the road to Seattle or Tampa or Green Bay and then follow it up with the Rams and follow it up with the Eagles on the road and then go back to San Francisco to win a Super Bowl? That's a little far-fetched. Listen, you root for the team, but let's protect your little heart, C. Jotty. Come on, you're a fan. You're just understanding the reason why you're sitting here listening to me is because a little bit of your heart understands the truth. Detach a little bit, save your little heart. And if they listen, in my humble opinion, as a psychologist and as a sports psychologist, and as somebody who covers a team like the Lions, who kick you in the nuts year after year after year, detach a little bit your Super Bowl thoughts that they're going to win, and just support them and hope they get into the postseason and get as far as possible, and they get on a little run. But it sounds stupid if you really say the Lions with an offensive line and a wide receiver who probably is going to have a nagging injury going into the rest of the year, with a retired center coming back, is going to take this massive leap in the last month of the season. It could happen, but you can't predict it. I think that you're doing it hard times, baby. You're doing it the hard way. It's the Lions. If they get there this year, they're going to be road warriors. They're not going to play at Ford Field. Last year, you got lucky. You got the first seed. You earned it. But you're not probably going to get any home games this year, unless some higher seeds start losing in the postseason. But they should get there. But they're going to be one and done, first team in, last team in, first team out kind of situation. I think that's how you protect your heart. What would I ask you? You guys are the best. DM5TV. You guys blew up my phone and DMs. We're like, ask Dan this, ask Dan that. Listen, Dan's been giving me short answers. Listen, I think he's on that point where if he hears this, he's going to be like, next question. We're on the verge of just next question. But DMV5, shout out to you. What would if Miss Sheila got to have a little taste of the Mediterranean flair? We'd have some hummus. We'd have a full table of their PR staff, because usually when they do interviews, there's 3 members of their PR staff, or 2. They would have 6. They will be like, John, it's very common practice, but I know I've seen the interviews take place, and usually there's the head and the assistant head of PR sitting there with the big dogs. So if it was Sheila, they'd have a whole room full of 6 people. We'd have an audience, and they'd be like, no, stop. We're not going to go that way. Wait, John. Wait, this wasn't on your list. wait. Sheila, hold on a second. John, it's a really good question. We really appreciate that line of questioning, but we're going to maybe shift to something else. Can you ask us about our philanthropy kind of work? And we'll go in that direction. Sheila, why'd you raise the price on these poor people? What'd you do with the money? Listen, I've given up kind of hope on that, but listen, I'm getting handsomer. I'm getting more eloquent in my words. I just don't have time. My time, like I said, her time's busy. My time's busy. I'm loving doing this. I'm going to say, please, would you let Sheila get on a Zoom and do an interview with me? They'll be like, you going to shave anytime soon? You going to put on a suit? You going to look the part? Oh, that made me laugh. What DM5? What would I ask Sheila? What would be the nature of our conversation? But we do have something in common. I would break the ice with some tennis talk, and I would ask for some Grey Poupon, like, hey, can we get a little bit of Perrier and sparkling water, and let's set the mood right. Some hummus and some olives and some cheese, and we'll have some conversation. Some Middle Eastern maza. We'll have a little talk here, but you got to have sparkling water. SW Lions, no, that's not realistic for him to have 2 practices and then play. I think realistically, you get him a practice and then you get him another week of practice for the Rams. It might not even be the Rams. You got to see what he brings to the table. Realistically, SW, the answer is probably realistically no, but we'll see. Dolo Dynamite, shout out to you. Doc, that game made me chug some Cutwaters. Mm-hmm. 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 Great question, Steve. Ask Dan why the offense has split identities in wins and losses. That's a wonderful question. What are you seeing in some of these games in which you've lost against better opponents offensively? Good question, Steve. Shout out to you. Appreciate your engagement, your messages on X and here. When you go in on two platforms, that's cool. We're an hour in, guys. You're going strong. The stream is rising. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Hit the like button. The more you like, the more people will join in. Sheila, why is it that general manager Brad Holmes doesn't make impactful trades? Do you feel he's falling in love with his own people too much? Should he also flirt with some outsiders? Sheila. Why does Brad not love defensive ends? Sheila, I heard in a movie once, don't get high on your own supply. I feel like Mr. Brad Holmes is getting high as a kite on his own people. I love my people. He loves his people. We joke with my nephew. If you get drafted by Brad Holmes, you hit the penthouse, you hit the lotto. He'll love you to death if you can play. And with the draft picks, it's true. It's like boom or bust. You either get a nice fat contract or you're Josh Pascal and you don't ever play. Can we just get a role player? A happy medium. It's either JMO or Mekhi Wingo. I know, you guys are so right. Oak 7984. What good does sustained winning do? Look at Marvin Lewis. Took his team to the playoffs 7 times, but never advanced past the wild card round, thus never winning a Super Bowl. Come on, Brad. Yeah. 5 years in, come on, Brad. Great. Come on, Brad. Come on. Zach, smart comment. Zach J7621. I mean, at this point, as a fan, I want to see your press conference admitting you were wrong. Give me some confidence you are recognizing your failures. That's the source of my frustration. Those that don't learn from history, repeat it. You were in San Francisco and you felt the pain of the fan base. You stood up there and you shocked the fan base with those comments. You're the one that scared the fan base. You're the one that stood up there, Dan Campbell, and said, you looked all devastated and you said, this might be our last chance realistically to win a Super Bowl. And you scared everybody. And you were aggressive. You didn't extend your lead. You wanted to be so brazen, you wanted to be the Giants and do a kill shot. The organization, the Detroit Lions, wanted a kill shot. Extend the lead. Kick those field goals. Try those field goals. There has to be some sense of responsibility with this aggression. It can't be fifth gear, I'm doing it. Because guess what? I mean, I'm not out of pocket here. And I want to say this respectfully and so that everybody understands. There is such a thing as regression to the mean. Early in Dan Campbell's tenure, when he went fifth gear aggression, everybody loved it. He was executing. You had an offensive line. You had everything going great. The formula was great. All the recipe ingredients were great. Now the taxes are higher. You're not getting the same chili in your recipe. The same onions and carrots and beautiful salt costs more. So you got to get cheaper. You got to get different salt. It doesn't taste the same. It's not the same. You have regressed. Your efficacy on fourth down has dipped. You were awesome at first. So that's not realistic. There is a mean. A mean is an average. You were higher on that scale when you were doing it and accomplishing it. There has been no recognition that you have regressed to the mean. You are not executing. Now the ball's flopping off your receivers. You're running dumb calls into the interior of the offensive line, which you should never, ever, ever do. Friends, don't let friends in 2025 call a run play in the interior of that offensive line. Never again. Just don't do it. Take it off the sheet. We are taking off all the interior runs unless it's 4th and inches and we give it to David Montgomery. Then we'll consider it. No interior runs. Multiple times in a row, out of the question. So now what's happened is he's regressed to the mean. But the analytics don't say that. They just say, oh, on this yard line, then it looks like you're 63% chance to win, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say that, hey, Coyote Awosika is your left guard and Tristan Cologne's your center. It doesn't say that the Packers have a defense that has shown that they can disrupt the quarterback, and your quarterback has to figure out his footwork so he can throw the football. Does that show up on an analytics sheet? These nerds have ruined football. I love numbers. I get it. They play a part. They play a part. But when you are seeing that game, how that game was going, the first quarter was a defensive game. At what point does someone say, oh, Dan, this is a points game? This is a game we need points. Clearly established. I would have said that before the game. Dan, we need points, Dan. Dan, easy on the aggression unless it's 4th and 1. And when it's 4th and 1, demo. And don't call interior runs. We're going to run it to Panay or Taylor. Off tackle, zone runs. We are not handing it off to the interior. And also, he ran it in the interior with Jahmyr Gibbs, and it was failure after failure after failure. Did you not see? I mean, me and my brain was like, what is this interior run call doing? Nothing. So I'm not going off. I'm just saying, statistically, who's telling them, like, who? Okay, I get it. They got a geek. They got the guy that's like, Dan, it's 68%. It's going to be, showing you that you're 68% to win the game if you go for it. Who's the guy that says, Dan, their defense is going to whip your ass? This play is going to fail. Does anybody have a fatalistic thought in their brain in that coaching staff? This is not going to work. Kick the field goal. Where's Dave Phipp to say, listen, Dan, Dave, Mr. Phipp, tell Dan Campbell, listen, trust my dog. He'll do the job. Trust the dog. Trust Jake Bates. Cut the lead to 7. Extend your leads. Trim the leads. Regression to the mean means that happenstance is going to happen. That, when you flip a coin, peoples, and this is where I would debate people because they never understood the concept of math and stats, whereas I was an expert, A++ statistician in grad school. If you flip a coin and it comes back 60 times in a row, tails. The 61st time, what are the odds? They're still 50-50. The odds are still 50-50. Now, the 60 times in a row, it's come tails. Tails, 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 tails. Dan sees that. The 61st time, it comes heads. The 62nd time, it comes heads. The 63rd time, it comes heads. Dan's like, okay, Dan, what are you going to do? What's coming 64th time? Tails. It's like, Dan, just throw out heads. Heads, 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 heads. I know it's 50-50. I know that it's equal. Just say heads. The last 3 have been heads. Just say heads. Regression to the mean. Nope. Dan's going to be like, 63rd time tails, 64th time tails, 65th time tails, 66th time tails. Dan, you got to modify the aggression. And we don't have to say go from here that you are all the way to 0, but read the room. Respect the Packers. And you lost St. Brown. All these variables. He needs a fatalist in that coaching staff. He needs someone's like, Dan, calm the F down, bro. Hold on a second. If we take the points, we can kind of trim it down to 7, and we can see if our defense can do something. I've never seen the defense been given a chance to even formulate an opinion if they can stop anything, because you always go for it. I want to see, let the defense show us something. Can they stop a play? That's it. I'm tired of Brad trusting these stupid draft picks over actually making moves. Listen, they haven't been all bad. They have built this team into what they are. They could be 5-7, but you're absolutely right. In my previous episodes, I've said to go from good to elite, you got to be shrewd, and that's what we challenge. We challenge Brad and Dan. They have to evolve. Dan has been Dan. Now we got to challenge our people to get better. Like Dan has to go from Sean Payton to he was Dan Campbell. Now he's got to become Josh McDaniels. A winner. A proven, this is what we do kind of guy. He's got to evolve. That means you got to move those chess pieces perfectly quite a bit more. We're going to give credit to some of these Packer fans. If you're going to come in here into a Lions chat, I know you guys do that, and we all do it as fans. I'll respect it, Lamone. You're welcome to our Lone Wolves community. Go, Pack, go. Doe soldier. Y'all pulled a fast one on us. Your coach is slick. Got to respect it. But if Packer fans are going to come in here, I respect it. Happy Thanksgiving to the Packers. But we'll be here laughing when you get eliminated in the postseason because your coach makes a stupid decision on 4th down or your special teams blows it again. You know you're going to give up a rushing kick return in the postseason to screw you again. Something's up with your special teams all the time. 360 Smooth, shout out to you. I'm 720 Smooth, baby. Still going strong. 10 o'clock, baby. Probably go another 15, 20 minutes. Fired up. I feel like as long as we have Dan Campbell that keeps doing what he does and Brad Holmes and Goff, we will never win a Super Bowl. This team is not it without common sense coaching. I think the fans got their fill of the aggression. They just want to see just a taste of the points. One game. Just give us the points. Just kick the field goal exclusively. See what happens. You can't assess unless you do it. Take the points every time. Play some defense. I feel like it's like, listen, Kelvin, we're taking the points. Run your defense. 3 is better than 0. Three is better than 0. Regression to the mean. You've regressed in 4th down. And Dan Campbell said it. 4th down calls and lack of execution 0 for 2 today cost you the game. 360 Smooth. Cheers to you, brother. Hope all is good. You and the family ate well. I know I stretched my pants out. Holy cow. I took me an hour after eating. Man, I paused for a whole minute eating that dessert when I saw that fool Matt LaFleur winking into the camera. A whole minute of my opportunity eating dessert was taken away because of that fool Matt LaFleur winking into the camera. Oh, hell no. To your point, I do think they're going to evolve. I mean, this is a big rude awakening. There's no way in hell anybody thought 7-5 with this team. No, he's not. He's probably frustrated too because all the worries came true. All the worries that the national media had, that the local media kind of danced around and looked at all the positives, came true. Offensive coordinator lost his play calling duties. You don't have enough defensive line pressure, and you're dealing with injuries. Every single one of the worries came true. Brad is laughing in your face, Doc. Nah, I mean, listen, I get it. There's a lot of ways to win a Super Bowl, and the Lions felt like, hey, this is what we need to do. This season has to, if it goes that way, it's going to be a wake-up call to change up a little bit. They're going to be aggressive in free agency. They cannot stand still. They're going to attack the draft one more time, and they're going to get guys be more impactful with some of their decisions. They got to be. SW line, you know what's up. Luckily, listen, it's fine. You know why they do it, SW. You know why. Just look at what they're writing about. You can't get in the door if you're not nice. Think about it. It's smart for them to be like that. But thankfully, there's independents out there that can think freely and share the right thoughts, which is week one, Dan, this offense don't look right. We're nervous. Week one, we were nervous. Week one, the good old doc raised the alarm for you people. Whoa, 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 something's wrong. Week one, remember who raised the alarms for you people. And probably made Dan Campbell hate me for life. But that's fine. Hermar 3656. Imagine how frustrated this defense is at Dan Campbell. I'm telling you, just adapt. Just do it. Just your fan base wants it. Sometimes you got to be willing to just adapt a little bit. Petty little comic relief. I did have hair when the Lions won a playoff game in 91. When I get a little more sophisticated and move away from just yelling into the microphone when I'm mad, I will show you a picture of my youth. I had the mushroom cut, and I had a picture, a little bit of a fro in my childhood. I was 12 years old in 91. So we had some hair. It started going at like 22. I love you guys in here. Let's do a quick shout out, a quick reset after 80 minutes. We've gone 80 minutes strong. And I think I've only gotten through half the topics. Doe Soldier, Joseph F. Curtin, Zach, your favorite uncle, Kevin Kurtz, Tijadas, King Jaffe, Joseph F. Curtin Jr., Miles, Gumby, Full Slate, SW Lions, Pickles Esquire. Thank you guys so much for being in here on a Thanksgiving. There's 600 people listening in. That means a lot. Smash that like button. That's the free way to say, hey, thanks for coming in and being a sounding board for us. Let us have a spot to type in some frustrations, have somebody that hears us and understands us and doesn't try to dismiss what we say with nonsensical stats that don't apply to the game that we just watched. But Doc, Aiden had all these pressures. But Doc, he did this, and he does so much more than you guys. I don't appreciate that. I appreciate sacks. Quarterback on the ground. Sacks. Like everybody else. And no, I don't just watch the box score. I watch the Packers march up and down the field and score 31 points on you. Did you ignore that? Maybe you don't hang your cornerback out to dry against Watson if you pressure the quarterback. My guy, Amik Robertson, has to be Superman because you don't pressure the quarterback. Have you ever heard of a tip ball, a batted ball, an interception? Pressure from the interior, pressure from the exterior, pressure from all over. Hey, two guys hitting the same quarterback. And remember, push back. You fans have been doing that. I've been seeing the comments under some of these posts, and they all sound great. You fans are smart. But also, too, you got to take it when the Lions win a game because it swings the other way. Austin, listen. There's a myriad of reasons why this has gone this way. One is the offensive line didn't come together at the same pace that they would have liked. I truly believe they thought Tate Ratledge would have been center and Miles Frazier would have been the right guard if he stayed healthy. And then Graham Glasgow would have been at left. But it was too much for Tate. And the injury to Miles Frazier was devastating for what they were trying to do. I feel like they wanted him to start. Devastating. And then the injury potentially too, or, maybe they didn't want Graham Glasgow on the line. It would have been maybe Mahogany and Miles Frazier. But they were forced to use Graham Glasgow. The injury to Mahogany, even though he was having up and down run. Devastating. Huh? Full Slate Farms, you've been paying attention? Full Slate Farms, how are you going to come in here and say that? When Brad Holmes said, you guys have been on my ass about the defensive end, who do you think he was talking about? Who was one of those people asking? I asked him at the combine directly, and I laid it up for him. I said, the reason why we're hyper focused on defensive end is you built a good team. We feel like we feel like as a team going into the year, you were one or two players away from making a deep run. You forgot that was me? You forgot that? You forgot that John Macaroon asked Brad Holmes and Ray Agnew, hey, guys, what did you learn from your two misses in the draft? Hendon Hooker and Broderick Martin, you guys whiffed. Full Slate. I know that they probably turned down the mics when I'm asking the questions. Trust me, when I walk in the room and I open my voice, it gets pretty silent in there. They don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. Good, bad, indifferent, wild. They don't know. But if you ask anybody in this chat, that's a far cry from the characterization you would use to describe me. But thanks for the laugh. The whole chat will tell you, go check out Dan Campbell's last couple interviews with me. I've asked a question and all his pressers, he's given 80-word answers. Mine is like 6. He's cut me right off. But I think the topic too, he didn't want to puff up Micah Parsons for my story. But guess what? Of course, Micah Parsons was going to sack your quarterback. No, Brad Holmes needs to do better. I've said he needs to go to the next level. He's the best you've ever had, but you got to compare him to Howie Roseman and the greats and the Veaches, the best of the best. The best of the best. And also Full Slate. I'm on crunch time every week for an hour and a half. And I'm saying the Lions are using 3/5 of the tools to win. They use the draft, and they're aggressive in the draft, but they're not using the aggression in free agency and the trades. They definitely love the practice squad allocation and all that, but they're not aggressive in free agency and the draft to the point that helps. Full Slate. Tripping, my friend. And the whole chat will tell you. The 600 people would be like, you talking about Doc being a slappy? That's funny, though. I'm going to share that with my nephew. He's going to laugh. Makes me feel good. I'll be a slappy for that little 2-minute period. Your favorite uncle. We'll get Ragnow and St. Brown back just in time to miss the playoffs. What crazy timing for Frank Ragnow to come back when you might have to struggle to beat the Cowboys and then you play the Rams. Guys, it's a tough road. That game against the Bears and Vikings are going to mean something. And heaven forbid the Steelers come and feel like spoiling your time. Lee, that's really nice. Oh, Lee, you got to hop in these lives more. You know I'm a wrestling fan, right? There's wrestling, that's the Cody Rhodes signed belt. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, Rolex wearing, kiss stealing, son of a gun. The man, the myth, the legend, the nature boy, Ric Flair. Man, that feels good, right? The nature boy comes to the town, takes over the town. Dirtiest player in the game. A lot of work. I'm trying to, my voice is screaming for an hour and a half, man. Steve, I'm feeling a little tickle here. Whew. I wanted to slow it down. Packers are buns. Shout out to my guy, Steve Chimenti. Happy Thanksgiving to him, our moral compass. Steve Chimenti, 6160. Been a fan of us and encouraged me to do live videos since 2020, but been a fan of the podcast since 2013. He's like, Doc, he's like, like in 2019, 20 in COVID, he's like, everybody's going to video, right? I'm like, yeah, Steve, but I like the audio. The numbers are great. Detroit Lions on Sports Illustrated is going great with just audio. He's like, go live. You're not going to be that terrible. I said, I don't know if I can talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours just by myself. I've always talked with somebody else. He's like, just do it. Just do it. I said, all right. So this year I said, let's do it. Everybody else does it. And we've already got 5,000 subscribers almost. Thanks, Steve. You've done a lot. All right. So we got to a lot of your comments. Let me get to my overall thought here on this point. Happy Thanksgiving, Steve. I'm very thankful for your support. And when I see your comments, good, bad, and different, I always smile. Big smile. When someone follows you for a good 12 years, that's pretty effing sweet. Now, guys, we all thought that Dan Campbell could do the job of play caller. Guys, we gave it a couple games. Not just me. Jeff Risdon said this experiment has not gone well. Jeff Risdon, the great sports writer and also radio host from Grand Rapids, he fills in for the Huge Show. He says, and what do you guys think about what he said? What do you guys think about Dan Campbell, the play caller? I think it's predictable. Not me. Not the troublemaker. Not him. Not that guy. He says, I think we are collectively well past the point of rejoicing that Dan Campbell took over play calling. This is not good, and it's not getting better. What is the concern? Where did this go south for the Lions? I think that there was a little bit over reliance on Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think that some of the aggression on fourth down wasn't great. Clearly, the first fourth down call was absolutely atrocious. The one to Jamo wasn't bad. It just Goff missed him. And of course, Jamo takes responsibility and Goff takes responsibility, but that was on Goff. You can see it. Jamo had to twist his body. This is not how you get a guy a touchdown. I thought that it would turn out differently for Dan Campbell calling plays. I was of the opinion that it was going to take off and that you would score 40 points and you get back to the greatest show on turf. Now, granted, I don't romanticize about offensive line blocking. It's not sexy, but Taylor Decker's been hurt. And unfortunately, it's funny that, a radio guy says that the Lions offensive line hasn't played that bad, that it's exaggerated. It hasn't played. Listen, and here's where you've got to remember, the radio station is also a partner with the Lions. They're friendly. Yes, they're going to complain. And yes, certain hosts are going to complain. But overall, there's a union between the flagship radio station of the Lions and the Lions. There's a relationship there. And of course, when the guy's on the Lions radio broadcast team, he's going to be like, it's not so bad. Well, okay. It's not so bad, but we'll say it like this. Last year's play along the offensive line at 15-2 was elite. This we want to delete. And here's why. It's not the same. The offensive line is not the same as it was last year, clearly. And those of you that say that maybe they should have brought back Zeitler and paid him, you're probably right. That if you're in a window, you pay Kevin Zeitler. Why are you letting a veteran leave? Pay the man. Now, he didn't have the best game in the playoffs, but I think he'd probably be better than a guy in Miles Frazier who's not playing. But unfortunately, if you're going to target, in the draft and you feel like there's a lot of guys you want and you've highlighted Tate Ratledge, I could see it. But you needed that offensive line to kind of purr. And you needed Frank Ragnow to kind of, not retire on you. Say, hey, Frank, take off the entire offseason, show up week 2. Take 3 games off. Not the whole first half of the season. Ahlan, happy Thanksgiving. Hassanin Mahdi 540. Ahmed's dad, God bless you and the family. Hopefully it was a beautiful day. Good evening, Doc. I wish you, Habibi, happy Thanksgiving. You and your family. I watched the game. I got stressed out and my back hurts hard. I had to take cool medicine to let me sleep. I just woke up. Man, I know, man. That game was frustrating, right? It was a little frustrating. And it was just seeing the the defense not pressure, man. It was not get to the quarterback was tough. Seeing Jordan Love throw those deep passes. I wish you a happy and get well. Listen, can't get up in the game. You got to relax the back. You can't let it flare up. You have to relax the back, stay cool. Don't get nervous. It is what it is. I always enjoy seeing your comments. God bless. It makes me happy. There's on Thanksgiving here. It's 10 p.m., 10:20. I should be going to sleep. It's my turn to go to sleep, but I got a lot of energy. If you get a chance, you go back, rewind. I was a little angry because, Mr. Mahdi, I am more conservative on fourth down. You understand football. First down, second down, third down. Fourth down, Dan goes for it. We here in this podcast now, we want to see more field goals. Like, take the 3 points. We like 3. They were 0 for 2 on fourth down, and the Packers were 3 for 3. That's the difference. Inshallah, your back gets better. I had the nai today. Smallah. The nai with the onions and the olive oil and the pita bread. Habibi, I feel good. I can go for 4 hours. The kibbeh nai from mom. Yeah. Amazing. Inshallah, you eat a nice plate of food. You have a nice, beautiful Friday. And take care of yourself. I want to hear by Monday that your back is better. Day to day, but get better. We love you too. Same. Shukran. Very much appreciated. And shout out to all the families here. Mike, Cove86, shout out to you. Goff wasn't the problem. It was the D-line and the O-line. Yeah, the trenches. I mean, it's what it is. Oh, Nagy has to remind us. Yeah, how does it feel, guys, that the trenches that in last year we dominated, this year it's not the same? Zach's right. Zach, shout out. Most fans that follow us, same, not delusional. You can call out the team and we're still all fans. The reason why we're angry is because we know that this year's looking like a wasted opportunity when it could have turned out differently. Darn you, Ben Johnson. Darn you, Dan Campbell, for picking John Morton. No, absolutely. You can critique the team. It's clearly, there's a lot more of them. There was a lot of boos last week. It wasn't me. There was a lot of boos at Ford Field. It wasn't me. I was silent. Radio silent up in the press box. So do you guys think Dan Campbell, a little bit of desperation with the decision to call plays? Like, here, now listen, I'm not saying that John Morton would be any better, but here's the problem. If you pull that trigger, you can't take it back. So if Dan would have maybe let John Morton grow, maybe you would have curse stopped the Commanders with John Morton and you keep helping him, and then he can make those decisions a little more clear. Do you think Dan Campbell is suffering as a result of the dual role? It was a shorter week. Everybody's exhausted, but the Packers handled it better than you. They made the explosive plays a couple times more than you. They executed better on third down and fourth down better than you. Do we have to give Ben Johnson a little more credit as a play caller? That, it's not that easy to call plays and create an offense that's going to consistently week in, week out. You got to give him credit because you look over there on the Bears side, they got 8 wins already. So go Eagles fly and beat the Bears. Is it the game tomorrow or Saturday? Is it Eagles Bears this week? When is the game? Let me know. I love it, man. 600 people. Smash the like button. Free. Take a minute. If you're here. Smash the like button. Let me do a quick reset on X. See if there's any comments. But we're going strong. An hour 40 in. We might hit 2 hours. Still going strong, and the chat is strong. It's awesome. Thank you guys for invigorating me, give me the energy. Kind of also feel better to let loose and be like, man, that game was just not where it needed to be. I just think that Dan Campbell is better suited at this point to, keep calling the plays, but hopefully with a week of preparation, you're going to need to score against Schottenheimer's team. But we have to clearly respect that Ben Johnson leaving was a major dent and you didn't fill the void correctly. Yeah, Eagles Bears tomorrow. I'll be definitely watching that. Sure will. Go Eagles. You need the Eagles, man. Fly, Eagles fly all over Ben Johnson. Damn, we're not in first place. What stunk about, just philosophically, where you sit here as a Lions fan, you go, Dan Campbell said, Dan Campbell said November would separate the teams that were good from the teams that weren't. Factually speaking, over November, the Lions became the last 7 games, they were 3-4. The Lions became pretenders, and the contenders emerged: the Bears, the Rams, Seahawks. When Dan said that, I was hoping that the Lions would become contenders. But your offensive line is good, um, but not elite to the standard that's going to maybe even help Goff propel you to some playoff wins. Mr. Mahdi, I will see the broadcast from the beginning because I missed it. Do you think we have a chance at the playoffs? Yes, I think they'll be 10-7, and they'll need some help, but I think they'll get it. Lions have kind of had some of this luck. They'll get to the playoffs, but Mr. Mahdi, that means on the road. That means I think they'll be the 7th team in, and that might mean Seattle. It might mean a division game against the Bears, going to Green Bay in the wintertime. Maybe you get lucky, but Mr. Mahdi, I've always looked at it like, how is the team looking like to win the Super Bowl, the win it all? It's a little bit tough when you have the 2 units, the trenches, still needing some work. So I still think, yes, they have a chance. Absolutely, they have a chance. You win against the Cowboys next week. It's at home. They should be desperate. The Cowboys don't play the best brand of defense, so I expect JMO and Gibbs. It sucks because I haven't in an hour and 40 minutes. I've been on the air for 100 minutes. I haven't even talked about St. Brown being gone. So it's going to be tough. You're going to have to, next week is going to be a crazy Thursday night game. For you, it will be 8:00. So 7 hours ahead. It'll be like 3 a.m. So wake up early, and we'll see how it goes on Friday morning. It'll be like 8:20. So like if you're 7 hours ahead, like 3:30 in the morning. Or you could just wake up at 5 and you'll be around halftime. Not bad. But yes, there's still a little hope. Yes, it's not over yet. It's not over till it's over. Jeff is like, Doc, they'll get it all cleaned up. They'll get it corrected. We'll correct it. We got to correct everything. We got to correct all the blocking mistakes, all the errors, all the deep plays, all the yeah, Jeff. They'll get it cleaned up. I'll say it more enthusiastically if you leave a super chat. The positivity will come right to my brain with any super chats. Super chats go right to the front of the line. No, I know. We got to get it cleaned up. We'll get it corrected, and we'll move on. We'll get it corrected. We'll get it corrected. If it takes 10 weeks to get it corrected, I don't think they're going to get it corrected. We'll get it correct. We'll get it corrected. I think that they got to correct some of the lineup. I think that's probably will be the next set of questions. Will be like, listen, if they don't get it corrected, are you going to think about some lineup changes? And I think maybe, Frank Ragnow could Miles Frazier and Frank Ragnow be the answer to unlock the offensive line. I think that's a little tough for an experienced rookie and a guy who had 7 months off to to get after it. So we'll see. Austin LeBeau, 372. Happy Thanksgiving. I love my Lions and want them to win, but I think that it is a great wake-up call to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. And like you said, Doc, evolve. Evolve. And I would say, is it really all that difficult to kick field goals with the best kicker in the league and to make your fan base happy? Like, literally, there is only 5% of your fan base that are the hardcore PFF slappies that sit there and go, I want to read on paper all day and know that the Lions are DVOA. They're at a disadvantage against nobody cares. You think there's not that many nerds that care like that. You're playing to a small segment of your audience. Just look what's in front of you. The it factor is gone. Regression to the mean. You won a lot of games last year. This year, you're losing them. It's just normal. But you can't compound it by making decisions that increase your chances of losing. Meaning, the clock is not your friend. The clock is not your friend. The clock is your enemy, baby. The clock is your enemy. When the clock is ticking, you got to be racing. He's like, I don't know. We wanted to. That doesn't make any logical sense in regards to how the game was going, your defense. It doesn't make sense. You trust your defense. Why? You were down. They gave up 31 points. What reason would you say you trust them at that point in the game? And the whole fan base is like, the clock is ticking. Tick, 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 and you ain't moving. We intentionally did that so that we could get the ball back. Well, what happened? Well, did you get the ball back? Hey, guys, did the Lions drive and have a chance to go? Did I miss a series of offense where the Lions got the ball back with a chance to tie the game? Did the Lions get the ball back and I missed it? Did I eat too much kibinai and drink too much bourbon? I didn't see that. Oh, it's an offensive league. And Matt LaFleur is an offensive wizard. And Jordan Love and Christian Watson's taller than your cornerback. And Josh Jacobs is a little bit stouter than your defensive line, who didn't do the job late. I would have told Dan Campbell, hurry up, hurry the F up, score. I want more chances. Hurry up, hurry the F up. No, we don't trust our defense. I want more possessions. I want more cracks at the end zone. What are you talking about? I want to drag the clock out. He does that stuff. He's got to just a couple things. Call better plays on fourth down. Don't call no plays on fourth down. Kick the field goal and stop with the, hey, I'm just going to let the clock drain all the way down and don't use no timeouts. That's it. These are two simple things. These are simple things. Evolve. Yeah, Phil. Thanks for the reminder. Wrong, actually. No, it looks like that from the right side. Look at the left side. I think it was Awosika that had the contact. If I'm not mistaken. It was the both of them in the area. But if you look at Awosika's body, that's when you see Amon-Ra's body twist, in my opinion. Double check it. See, my old age is not impacting me. Yeah, I think the devastating blow to Amon-Ra was Coyote. But yeah, I mean, listen, two dudes in the area, protect the 14. And of course, it's 14 blocking. The talented wide receiver that you paid $30 million is out there blocking so he can get rolled up on. Perfect comment. The whole team sucked today. Friendly fire. Horrible. Our own guys. This comment came through 1,000 times. So now Steve knows the policy. Ragnow, stay retired. Don't insult yourself. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. You lose against the Cowboys. You're 7-6. You're going to lose against the Rams. Nobody on earth is going to pick you against the Rams. That's a loss. You can only lose to the Rams. That's it. Can't have a fluke loss to Steelers, Vikings, Bears. Guys, it's uphill battle. If it ain't rough, it ain't right. Listen, Zach, those that gatekeep are also a very small minutia of the fan base. It's like 15 people. The real fan. That's 15 people that think like that. Zach, you're part of a normal crew of people that are very simple as fans. Play well, cheer. Play bad and lose, get upset. That's how fans react normally. The slappies are actually, in my opinion, I can give you a professional 25-year sports psychology opinion. The slappies are the ones that are most delusional because they're in denial because they can't handle the upset feelings that come up when you point out that something bad is happening. Bro, Zach, you're in the same boat as me, baby. Bro, we've seen the Lions we've been kicked in the nuts so many times. We're the guy, we're the Asian guy that's getting kicked and we just stand there. Well, we get mad at it because I'm tired of getting kicked in the nuts. I'm tired of seeing the opposing coach now wink in the camera because they got the benefit of a dumbass call from an official. Are you kidding me? I literally spit into the camera. Are you kidding me, Zach? Listen, I know those people talk loud and they use big words like, well, you're not a real fan. Listen, you're the realest fan that there can be. You live in reality. What are you talking about? You think I'm not going to sleep great at night? If the Lions don't end up winning the Super Bowl this year, the slappies will hurt more than you and I. Because we've already started to say, there's a problem. We don't live in denial. Denial as a sports fan is toxic. But the slappies are in denial. They always want hope. They can always feel like they're right because they always can say, well, there's always next year. Then the argument for that is Brad should have 2 Super Bowls instead of 1. So remember, the slappies talk hard, but they're in denial. There are problems. There are major problems. Everybody's aware of it. Dan Orlovsky said, I'm concerned about the offensive line. Bro, Zach, you're a realist. Stay that way. Don't change. Even though the mountains may move in that direction and the slappies talk big and they use stupid numbers to try and tell you, hey, wait a minute, the Lions still have the 3rd best scoring offense. Well, guess what? They're 7-5, so I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about your numbers. I don't give a shit about your PFF. I give a shit that the last game I just watched went down like that. Because remember, you can go online and dig up any sort of numbers to make your argument look good. Stick to your guns. You're absolutely right how you're thinking. Stick to your guns. Because guess what, guys? Oh my God. Just look at it common sense wise. And this is how I say it. Let's say one game you score 50 points and you win, and you score the next game, you score 0 points, have a lot of penalties on offense, a lot of false starts, and you score 0. We're going to be mad saying, hey, you got shut out. That was a terrible game offensively. I'm a little bit concerned. We didn't score any points. The slapdicks with the numbers are going to be like, did you know that the Lions average 25 points a game and they have a great scoring offense? They average 25. Did you know that? Yeah, dipshit, I can add, I can divide. 50 divided by 2 is 25, but they just scored 0 points the last game. Are you just going to ignore the 0? Yeah, that's what they do. They ignore the numbers that kind of don't make the argument sound good. You just scored 0. So stick to your guns. You're not wrong. The slappies need these numbers so that they don't get all nervous. They don't want to feel these feelings. We talk about it. We own it. We're mad today. Tomorrow we'll wake up hungover. We'll feel a little bit better. But then we'll go, dang it. The Cowboys are looking pretty good. They just beat the Chiefs. And we'll have our hopes pick back up, and then they'll come back down. So stick to your guns. Don't worry about the slappies. Just remind the slappies. You have the ultimate fact. They've never won a Super Bowl. They've never been to the Super Bowl. And all they have is, well, I hope. They're always going to devolve into I hope. Always. They're just going to use a bunch of numbers to tell you that they hope. Well, we're talking about the game that we just watched where Micah Parsons hits your quarterback and your star defensive end has pressures. And I got to see stupid AI videos of someone creating Aiden spinning and not hitting the quarterback. So don't worry, Zach, about the slappies. And get ready for it. I'm 46. I'm good and well ready to be 69 when the Lions win a Super Bowl. How old are you, Zach? Give us your uh everybody drop your age in the chat. How old are you and how long you been suffering with the Lions? Oh, Dynamite, you guys are bringing the heat. I might have to go past 2 hours. Jerry Jones made some moves. Brad didn't. This is insane. Jerry Jones had balls to trade a guy that wanted so much money. But they're only 6-5 and 1, 6-5-1, I believe. 46. It's good. 44. All right, good. The middle-aged crew sticking up. Suffering for 57 years. Phil C. Oh, my baby. 57 years. Holy cow. Absolutely, there's a psychological explanation. We all delusional as fuck. With the slight hope that this team will get it done. Delusion, man. Fanatics. We're all fanatics. But the Slappies are in denial. Like, oh, we can sniff out problems from a mile away. Bro, the doc, your boy DMV, your boy sniffed out a problem week 1. Week 1, I said, whoa, Dan. Can we get back to 2024 offense, please? Week 1, I didn't even wait. The media was all laughing. I like, who cares? Week 1, I said, Dan, you play. I mean, you had miscommunication. There was no pre-snap motion. You didn't score. The Packers look better than you. What happened? What drastic change? I don't know, but whatever I smelled from that offense that you put out there week 1, I didn't like it. So in some way, I don't know how to describe it. In some way, was I trying to manifest the 2024 offense? But I did, like I said, I did preface it by saying your offense was historic last year. It was historically good, one of the best. So why not try to copy it? Why not? Maybe they're trying, but maybe they can't, and they need to evolve into something different. But I think the small adjustments they got to get making is use David Montgomery a little bit more in short yardage situations. Short yardage situations. All right. Last, I got 2 more things to talk here. Probably go 215 maybe. The chat keeps growing, Steve, which is always crazy, is that we started with 200. Now we got 700. Smash the like button. About 15 more minutes. Your boy does got to have another cocktail and go to bed and grind it out tomorrow. Content starts again tomorrow with what the Dan Campbell quotes, what the pool report said, analysis. Dan Campbell has to evolve as a play caller. He's got to get better, clearly. Now, the other side. That defensive line was not good enough. Where's the pressure? Where's the hits? Where is the impact? Where are the turnovers? The offensive line was good enough in the run game. The passing game, there were some breakdowns. It was up and down. Listen, it's quite clear. You guys are seeing it. The runs in the interior are a lot more risky than off tackle and zone concepts. It wasn't good enough, the blocking. But now when you also have a defensive line that was what you guys are describing as non-existent, Jordan Love will pick you apart. Hicks, Wicks, whatever, Dobbs. I mean, did you really think that was going to happen, giving up 31 points without Jaden Reed, without Tucker Kraft? Y'all making Romeo Dobbs look great. Y'all making Wicks look spectacular. That sucked. Dontavion Wicks. And you know how I know it was bad? In 2 hours, there have been thousands of comments and maybe 3 positive ones. That's statistically indicating that the things I'm talking about resonate with what you guys are believing happened. The offensive line and defensive line did not play well enough, and Dan Campbell's play calling and aggressiveness hurt this team. Infinite chaos. Keep believing. Hold strong. You know what you're talking about. Dismiss it and just keep saying your points. When someone calls you a fake fan, double down on your point. Just repeat your point. Just say, okay, I'm a fake fan, but how do we fix the why? I'm a fake fan, but why did Brian Branch stop on the run? Don't tell me that your whole house didn't go, why did Brian Branch stop on that route? The whole house said it. Your whole house said it, and we know it. And I'm certain that a certain percentage of the 700 people, 5% said, why the F did Brian Branch stop on that route? And I'm certain one of the people in there was like, he'll get him next time, next play. What about the touchdown? What about this? Why'd he stop? I mean, come on. Don't worry about the fake fan. Just roll with that comment and just be like, yeah, I'm a fake fan. But why did Brian Branch stop on that route? Why did Aiden Hutchinson not sack? Why did I have to see Micah Parsons get 2.5 sacks? Why did I have to see that? I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that when I'm like battling today, Infinite Chaos. I'm like, how crazy do you got to be as a fan where Micah Parsons gets 2.5 sacks, all those pressures and hurries, and has impact, highlight plays, and that we all watch across the nation. And I'm like, man, I kind of would like that on my team. And they're like, well, he's a good player, so you always say that. That's what a fan told me today on X. Well, yeah, he's a good player. Of course you're going to say that. What kind of comment is that? Who in their right mind would say Micah Parsons on the Lions wouldn't make a Super Bowl caliber? But he doesn't do good against the run, and he's this. Okay, man. He just peeled himself off of Jared Goff the third time. Listen, you can easily, when someone calls you a fake fan, just say, yeah, I'm a fake fan, but how come Brian Branch stopped on that route? How come Dan Campbell kept going? Why does Dan Campbell keep going for it when it hasn't worked? Don't back down. You guys are, like I said, you understand you're right. Trust your gut. Like I said, I'm thankful I cannot be that way. Could you imagine if the doc was in denial and came on here for the last 2 hours and was like, hey guys, did you know that DVOA says that we're the 8th ranked defense in the league and we still have a chance to make the playoffs and everything's going to be just fine. And we'll see you guys in late December in the playoffs. We're going to be just fine. And we're going to win all our road games and we're going to just smell the roses today. What kind of nonsense? Who would pay someone to say that? Not today. Not today. Maybe I'll say it tomorrow. Come on. Keeping it real is a little bit more in line with how you get over things a little bit faster. I feel bad for the Slappies. They will. And then the best part is that when the season ends and they don't win a Super Bowl, they'll just say, oh, let's look to the draft and let's see that, guys, there's a great defensive end in the draft that the Lions are going to pass on. And then we'll make it all better. Always next year. No, Phil, see, I'm not a ball knower. I'm a realist. And I don't spit nonsense to get people to hope in stuff that's not real. After a loss, it looks bad. I just keep it real. And common sense. How are you saying that you trust your defense, yet you keep going for it so much on 4th down? Common sense tells me you don't trust your defense. Okay, fine. I get it. You don't trust your defense. They were giving up a lot of points. That's common sense. But then to turn around and then say, after you saw the Packers drop 30 on you, milk the clock to let the defense have a shot at it. In an offensive league where the officials would happily drop a flag on the ground on your home turf to embarrass you. That makes no common sense. I'm going to let the clock drip all the way down to 3 minutes, score, and then trust the defense. It's an offensive league. You're an offensive coach. That makes no sense. Either you trust the defense or you don't. You can't not trust the defense and go for it all those 4th downs and never let them play defense. and then run all the clock out. It doesn't make common sense. It's not common sense. It's not common sense. Steve knows the policy. We are in control. I'm the biggest NWO fan. If you look there, yeah, I think maybe you're seeing that right there. I am the biggest fan of the NWO. Outlaws, Renegades. The greatest time of my collegiate youth was 2 TV setup at Michigan State, Raw and Stone Cold slamming the beers, and the NWO slamming each other. Man, that was fun as a 21-year-old Monday nights. You get all your work done. Once a week I play the NWO music and I leave the house. I just feel good. And then with the music, oh yeah. And then all the new members join. I got all the videos. I got all the hats, the shirts. I am a slap NWO fan. It was the greatest era. The music was great. Then Hogan went to Voodoo Child. The music was great. I would in some way steal that. If I could just find a way to steal that music, I just would. It's the greatest hype music you can have. And he's a Detroiter. Eric Bischoff is a creative genius and a gutsy, and I hope he ever sees this. He is an amazing wrestling figure. And I have his book here, actually. I have a book of his. I can't share it, though, because I kind of use some of the strategies in my business. But Mr. Bischoff has also put some money in my pocket. Mr. Eric Bischoff, Eazy-E. Richard Pinkston, $12.89, $2. A wrestling take got me paid. I always knew it would. We are in different camps. I thought that by the time it got to the Wolfpack, it got cheap and commercial. Black and white all day. Original NWO New World Order 3, Hall and Nash and Hulk Hogan. Maybe with the Giant, maybe with Buff Bagwell. The rest, it got too much when you were starting to get, Miss Elizabeth, and it got played. I mean, you had 50 members of the Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude. It got too much. Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. The original 3. But it's okay. Wolfpack's back. That's good. Listen, I got you see the Cody Rhodes belt, but I got a Tiger's belt to my left. I got the wingtip belt here, the replica. I'm a big wrestling fan. Scott Norton. Hell yeah, Big Norton. A lot of wrestling fans in here. Shout out to you, Richard. We can still get along. I also have the red shirt too. The Outsiders. Word Life. Dude, I popped when CM Punk played Word Life in their feuds. Hell yeah. We also have a wrestling podcast on our platform. For those that don't know, I am the founder of the Detroit Sports Podcast, 3 words. We run a Thursday podcast every week for 15 years. It's a little bit vulgar. We have a wrestling podcast every Saturday. We have every Friday, I believe, a podcast dedicated to the Michigan Wolverines. 3 shows every single week, 3 days a week, hosted by different people. Me and Adam host the wrestling show and the Doc and Jock show. We host 2 of them, and the great Steve Dace hosts the Michigan show. Check it out. Give it a subscription. And then here on YouTube, you can catch the daily line. We throw up a lot of these videos on Spotify and on the stream too. So give it a subscription. Detroit Sports Podcast. And if you want to know all of this, our Twitter page is at Detroit Podcast. That's me. That's the live coverage. That's where I announce where the shows are and all that good stuff. If you want to find me directly on X, that's where you find me. Oh yeah. Yes. Hell yeah. It's being a wrestling fan is still great because when your kids get into it, you can live it through them. And the blending of wrestling and pop culture is crazy. You get now Seth Rollins talking junk about the Lions because he's a Bears fan. Steve wants everyone to be reminded. Steve O baby, shout out to you. I know you're liking the content, the realism, the authentic, willing to debate if I'm wrong. Doc, remind the people and the slappies how many sacks Jordan Love had against him. Oh, that's right. Big fat 0. As many world championships as Terry Taylor had, the Red Rooster. Big fat 0. Repo Man. Yeah, less than 5 hits. Good Lord. It was not a good day for the defensive line. How concerned are you about the defensive line? Yeah, Steve, I'm still going strong. I know it's crazy. People are enjoying the relief that they get after a long, and plus too, Steve, there's 800 people here because, after a couple hours with your family, you're all like, man, I don't want to hear about Uncle Jack's health problems. I don't care about his, flabby stomach. I want to get out of there. I want to listen to Doc complain. Timothy, let's have a little hope. One before we die. That's why we're screaming. Is that Brad, be more aggressive. Get this team talent. Don't think inside the box. Think way outside the box. Ask yourself, maybe I need 4 defensive ends. Think outside the box, but at least you have to make a trade. You just have to. It's PR. You have to make a trade. The fan base supported. Listen, the funny part is Timothy Cornelius, when they paraded Donovan Peoples-Jones, I looked at it and said, I don't like Michigan wide receivers, and this guy hasn't done nothing. And everyone's like, what? He did this. He's going to come in here. He's going to cook. Let Brad cook. I said, I don't know. He might help, but I feel like that this was just kind of depth, and he's not going to do nothing. Like, I didn't think that was even a Super Bowl move. Like, they didn't even throw to Donovan. They threw to Josh Reynolds. In 2023, you didn't even get Chase Young. Hell yeah, Steve. I love this so much, and I'm so crazy. The missus is sleeping, the kids are sleeping, and I'm just, these thoughts still go in your head. What are you going to do? You're into it. Obviously, I'm into the Lions. I've invested a long time hoping and that they would win a Super Bowl. And when you write for the team and you cover the team, now I want to talk about the team and I want to engage with the people. And there's almost 800 people in here. Timothy Cornelius, love you guys. Smash the like button. I don't know how many we're at. Let's try to get it to 100. Super chats, become members. You get 3 free emojis that you can use in the chat. Shout outs, member exclusive shorts and videos. I probably will do the member videos this weekend. Timothy, shout out to you. I'm not going anywhere. Thank you. Why? Why have you chosen this stream as one that you like? Let me know. What's a staple? I think that you just like the honesty, the realness, the fact that there's we welcome the slappies. Come defend it. It's just hard to because the doubt creeps in when some of the cracks emerged and you tried to put a little tape over it and we're like, oh, no, put a bunch of spatula over this thing. This offensive line is rough. And people are like, no, it's not that rough. No, it's not that great. It's not that great because we saw greatness last year. We can compare. We actually do people forget? We have a comparative sample of what great offensive line play looked like last year. Did y'all forget? 4th highest scoring offense. Offensive line was pretty good. We have an example of what it looks like. So does that look like what it does now? No. Hey, and I think Infinite Chaos, I think you've cracked the secret of why, on some level, I've been around for 15 years. I'm honest. I'm telling you how I feel. And also, too, it comes from experience where I get the joy of I sat in the cold. I reminisced when I was thinking about the game today. Me and my buddy, what is now LCA, we sat out there on a day like today. We would throw barbecue briskets on the ground, light them up, and warm our feet and freeze our ass off. And on a day like today, on a day like today, me and my boy Kenny, I love him to death. I've been friends with him for 40 years. It's not about quality, it's about quantity. I got 3 to 5 amazingly close friends and some great family members. And we would go out there and we would sit freezing our ass off. We'd catch up about work and life. And do we still want to be season ticket holders? And we'd be like, what the F are we doing? We're crazy. And then we'd go into a game like that, sit in the 18th row, scream our head off, cheer, cheer, cheer. And it was like that today for 5 years as a season ticket holder. I maybe saw 6 wins as a season ticket holder. I was a season ticket holder for 6 years. They raised the price on us every year for 6 years. From 2004 to 2008-9, they raised the price. We got in at 41, and when we got out, it was 64. Could you imagine that? I started off paying $400 for season tickets in the 18th row in the end zone. And then by the time we got out, we saw 6 whole wins. We saw the Lions fans wear Bengals colors. We saw a snap go to the place kicker get botched when they tried to tie the game. We saw the embarrassment that was Steve Mariucci, and we were like, yeah, we have fun tailgating, but this ain't fun no more. It's not as fun. So we stopped. But I've been a supporter of the Lions my whole life. And then when you get into the media, I only got into the media because they told me I couldn't. Simple as that. Simple as that. When I got the email back from the Lions, they could have avoided me. I just said, hey, I just want to come to one Rod Marinelli press conference. I just want to come to one Jim Caldwell presser. Hey, you hired a new coach, Bob Quinn, a new general manager. Let me come and sit in. I do a podcast, pretty popular. They're like, podcasts aren't media. And I said, and back in 2025, back in 2016, 17, I said, boy, you guys don't know. You guys don't know what's coming. I said, podcast, not media. And it wasn't the current regime of PR. It was the one before it. This new guy is progressive. The old guy had no clue what was coming. Oh, I told him. I said, I think podcasts are going to be pretty big, my friend. It's 2016. Get ready. I'm coming. And that's what I did. No, thank you, Infinite Chaos. You don't have to if you don't have it. Thank you. You messaging, commenting is the most beautiful joy. For you to give that, shout out to you and the family. Infinite Chaos. Hit the comments in all the videos. Hopefully you are a longtime subscriber. You know you can get a direct hold of me and comment about any videos you see, any shorts you see. I respect that quite a bit. You help the stream. You help us keep going. It's a $5 gift. A dollar gift means the most to me. If it's $100 gift, it's anything that you feel you want to give an honest guy talking Lions on Thanksgiving. It means the world to me. God bless you and your family. I hope to have many thoughts and conversations about the Lions with you. Hassanin Mahdi got in something about he's 71 years old and wants the Super Bowl. I want to find it. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. And we got, like I said, 36 members. It's cool, man. It's really cool. Yeah, Timothy. Like I said, the blessing is I have the unique advantage of just however I came to be at 46 years old, I do not care what people think of me in any capacity. I've learned how not to care. You like me? Great. You don't like me? Great. We all smile. I wake up the next day. I got a big smile on my face. I got lucky. I hit the NFL jackpot for a guy talking on the internet to cover the NFL. Ha, Doc, you remind me of Vince Russo. You sound exactly like him. If the ratings tank, you gotta fire everybody. They can't tell a story. Uh-huh, bro. Uh-huh, bro. Love it. I listen to all their podcasts too. Bro, if the ratings are terrible, bro, we got to have more bikini matches. We got to have more matches in mud. If there's nobody watching, how can you have a show? If you got 1 million people watching, how is their show? His bit is great. I would love to talk to him. We would have an energy explosion. Bam, bam. Happy Thanksgiving. Sorry I'm late. No worries. We got a whole replay for you to watch. Shout out to you. Happy Thanksgiving. How'd you feel about that one? That loss was, that was a bad loss. You could have been in it. You could have been in that contest. God bless you. Hopefully your plate was full. You stretched out your pants. You ate good, drank good. I appreciate the super chats, the support, the gifts, the infinite chaoses, the bam bams, those that give. Thank you so much. Where did the grit go with the Detroit Lions defensive line? Zach, Doc, thanks for hosting this vent session. Absolutely. If it made me feel good. It's 11 o'clock on Thanksgiving. Like I said, I'm probably just going to go 5-10 more minutes. Get your last thoughts in. I got to get my last thoughts in too. I love doing this too because, yeah, I'm honest and I like checking in with you guys. Check in. I think I read the most live comments on these streams. I interact with the commenters in the chat the most. I think that's what makes me distinct and unique is I just want to have an opportunity to share my thoughts and bounce ideas off of yours. And look, Hassanin Mahdi, 70 years old plus, back hurts. He still wants to care about the Lions. That's what fans do. SW Lion, thanks, Doc. You're great. Appreciate your honesty. Yeah, I think that's the number one thing is that if somebody's going to come out here and scream his head off, it's not because I'm a slappy. It's because I want desperately to see the fan base be happy to get a win. And I also want to cover a Super Bowl winning team and to recoup the investment and to see the team. Like I said, I'm a Detroit guy. You see me. You don't see me wearing New York hats or rep any other hat besides Detroit Sports Podcast or Old English D. And look, listen, you try to be professional, but you guys have been with me for 2.5 hours. You grew the stream from 200 to 800. Let me tell you. So those of you that say Doc's a hater and Dan Campbell hates you and you're just a troll or anything, let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you. This is what stands opposite of my desk. All right? What do you think this is? What do you think this is? Okay? Now, I can't wear Lions gear around town. I cover the team in some capacity, but I never declared myself a journalist. I never declared myself a hardcore, by the book journalist. All right. It's clear. All I would ever ask is you identify me as John Macaroon, a podcaster. That's the love. That's the word that brings me joy. Any other word has no meaning to me. Writer, reporter, journalist, insider. None of those words elicit anything to me. They don't mean anything. What I put my heart and soul in is a podcast that I grew with my cousin, my wife's family, now my family, his beautiful family. We're like kind of the same. And that's what I want to be known as. But I have Lions shit all over my house. All over my house. What's on my wall, which is really funny, is a TJ Hawkinson signed jersey. He's not even on the team anymore. Okay, so you don't have to just every once in a while let people know that we talk about the Lions because I care about the Lions deeply. And when you challenge somebody, it's not because you want to make a name for yourself or embarrass somebody or raise your profile. I just want to know, Dan, are you executing to the highest level that you can to be able to help this team win a Super Bowl? And the fans have questions. Simple as that. The words that are coming out of my mouth are typically not uniquely coming from me. I'm just the conduit from the people that are in this chat. Hey, John asked this. Hey, talk about this. Write this. Because when I write about it, people read it. So that's all I want people to know is I'm a regular guy talking about the Lions because I deeply want them to win. And when they don't win, we get mad. And when stuff don't make sense, you naturally get mad. And you don't want to lose to the Packers because F the Packers. AG's burner. Cowboys are improving right now. So let me get through this. So the defensive line, like I said, you all saw it. The Lions defensive line wasn't good enough. It didn't do the job. And I think all of you saying, Aiden, do more. Keep on it. Keep beating the drum. Aiden, do more. Dan said it. Of course, naturally, he wants to do more. Do more. Keep the pressure on. Now, the last 5 minutes, big problem. I avoided it for 2 hours and a half. Big problem. St. Brown is going to miss the Cowboys game. Friendly fire. Again, was it McNeil that got Hutchinson last year? And Coyote Awosika got Amon-Ra, and he was not happy getting rolled up on. Friendly fire. Of all the people that you couldn't afford to miss, can't miss Amon-Ra St. Brown. That sucks. It's gonna give Tesla and Kennedy some opportunities, but come on. Kirby Joseph, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown. My God, could the football gods give us a break? How concerned are you guys about Amon-Ra not being around? Probably for Dan. And remember how Dan said it. If they're lucky, he's out for 1 or 2 weeks. Could be the high ankle sprain. If he comes back, he's going to be limited. Remember, cuts, breaks. But we'll say this on the positive side, J-Mo looked pretty good as a number one. Hey, you can throw him a ball. Hey, you can throw him more than one ball in a game. What do you know? You can have him do number one things. Guys, too many mouths to feed is a great problem to have, but it's a big problem when you see when St. Brown is gone and J-Mo starts lighting it up. Uh-oh. Did the Lions make a mistake not targeting J-Mo more? Do the Lions need to have J-Mo be the primary target and then incorporate St. Brown where it's like 10 receptions, J-Mo, and 7 to 8 St. Brown? J-Mo got in the mix over the middle. He got the ball, end arounds. He got some usage. People were satisfied with what they saw with J-Mo. But I do think he should at least look like a solid number two. He looked like that today and had some number one tendencies. St. Brown, man. Seriously? Can we really be that mad they lost? They didn't have St. Brown. What can St. Brown do for you? Catches, extend the chain, score touchdowns, the emotional leader. That sucked. That truly sucked. But now it's up to Kennedy and Jameson Williams and Tesla. You got to make up the production next week. It's a lot tougher, but the Dallas Cowboy defense is there for the taking. Like, you can light them up. I'm not terribly concerned about the Cowboys game. I think it'll be tougher, but I think the desperation is going to shine through. The Lions are going to play well. Thursday Night Football, week of rest. You got opportunities to get on a normal schedule. The problem game is going to be the Rams game. That game is just going to be a nightmare. You just got to get out of here 1-1. So you got to be 8-6. 14 games, 8-6. And then you just got to go Minnesota. So here's a little bit, like I said, 2 hours and 20 minutes of screaming and yelling about a game that sucked and officials that were embarrassing and a Packers coach that trolled us. But if you can just, okay, if we look short term, 1-1, you get to 8-6. You beat the pants off the Steelers. Christmas, hello, Christmas, my friend. You beat the pants off of the Vikings. And then I kind of want it to be all about the Bears where, hey, Bears and Lions play for a chance to get in the playoffs. I don't want in the universe to go down where the Lions have to rely on anybody else to help. Because you could be looking at what happened in 2022 where you made a run but didn't get to the playoffs. That hurt. That sucked. Could you imagine 10-7 and you're not in the playoffs? That would suck. I would rather Bears, Lions, crazy conditions, battle it out. There's still a chance to get to the playoffs. Now, get to the playoffs, you know it's going to be a nightmare game to watch. It's going to be like this. The playoff game that you're going to lose is going to look like this. Maybe you make the plays to advance, but every playoff game is going to look like that. The reason why we want better players is our little hearts are going to explode when they get to the Super Bowl and lose. It's going to be like what we just saw, back and forth, key decisions, craziness, back and forth momentum. I wanted it to be a little bit easier. We've already been down the hard road, the hard times. We've already been down that road. I wanted it to be a little easier when you get to the playoffs. You know, last year was fun being with 15 wins. That was a fun regular season, but it sucked when you got to the playoffs. But there is hope. that, okay, now you could see Tesla a little bit more, that you maybe get Brock Wright and Caleb Freeman back. You can leave Graham Glasgow on the bench. It's not over. The season's not over. I do think that the Super Bowl aspirations where you puff your chest out and be like, we're going to be the Super Bowl favorite is over. Hard times. You got to grind. You're going to be an underdog if you get to the Super Bowl. So, Amon-Ra St. Brown, let's just hope the medicals come back where it's not 4 weeks. Pesky ankle injury. It's the playoff aspirations took a dent in terms of winning the division. Listen, save your money. I know Miss Sheila Hemp, the tax lady, took in your $2,000, but don't worry, you're going to get them back. You're not getting any home playoff games. Don't worry. Don't worry about the $2,000 that the tax lady gave. Give to the grandmama. Give to the godmother. The godmother has made you an offer that you can't refuse. The godmother wants her money. She wants her slice. She knows that the Christmas time is coming and you guys got some money and she wants a slice. The godmother's coming for her $2,000. But don't worry, it's going to be credited to next year because you ain't going to see a single playoff game in Detroit this year. Give the godmother her money. Happily. She didn't raise the price on you next year. So she's just going to take the same tax she took this year. But give her the money. Because guess what? There's 20,000 people behind you that if you don't give the money, they're going to hand it to her. They're going to run and hand it to her. The godmother is here. She's going to make an offer that we all can't refuse. I'm going to put together a nice team that gets some playoffs wins, but never wins a Super Bowl. No, we'll take it. Sign me up for those 4,000. Guys, think about this, okay? And think of how crazy this is before I get out of here. And I'm truly humbled that all of you stayed and grew this over 2.5 hours on Thanksgiving. So look at it like this. When I started in 2002, my season ticket was in, section 118, 18th row was $400 for the whole year, 10 games. $400 20 years ago. 400. First year was 41. They didn't waste no time. Losing season. Next year was 43. It's nothing. A couple bucks, no big deal. Next year was 48. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. That's when I started catching on to the hipness of the, oh, snap. She gave me a taste. Oh, snap. That was her mom, Martha. Martha gave me a little taste, a little sample. Oh, the cheap. Wait a minute. Got me in the door. Wait a stinking minute. Then the next year was 56. And the next year was 58. And my boy's like, John, like, seriously, like, we're just regular guys. This commitment every year is not really what we want to be doing. I was like, Kenny, my man, they gave us a little taste. They got us hooked. She gave us the free sample and got us hooked. But after the whole Cincinnati Bengals debacle, after the crazy losses, the Million Man March, the fact that they only love wide receivers in the draft, they won 5 whole games at home in 6 years. I took my brother-in-law, Kenny would always leave me a preseason ticket. I took my brother-in-law to the Rams game on Monday Night Football, and it was a complete embarrassment. And I think it was the 3rd preseason game was supposed to be the trial run. And the Lions laid one of the biggest duds of football I ever seen. It was like 15 penalties. And Steve Mariucci looked like he had no clue how to coach a team. And he said, this year's going to suck. And then 2 years after I think we quit, they went 0-16. So forgive me if I'm a little bit gruff and grifty or gruff and angry. I watched a lot of losing with my ass in those seats. And then the first year in media, I learned how to get pissed off at Matt Patricia because he had no clue how to talk to people. That was my first year in media. I honestly was going to quit media after the first year with Matt Patricia there. Like, I looked at how the media was being treated. I was like, y'all accept this? The way the tenseness was, it was wild. You can't move it. The way in which the tenseness of how the people were treated, the media was treated terribly. I said, people want to come cover this? And then it got so much better. The COVID year was kind of fun because there was no fans. So that was wild. And everybody knew Matt Patricia was getting fired. So covering a guy getting fired was pretty cool because we just kept asking him, when you getting fired? Or we kept asking him, it was like, Hawks on Carcass. Like, why do you need to keep your job again? You're supposed to be a defensive coach, but you can't coach defense. That was funny. And now that I bring that in because he's coming back to town coaching Ohio State, I'll be in the building. I kind of want to go up to Matt and be like, you ran a practice outside when you had indoor games, bro. Remember those questions we were asking you? He'd be like, who are you again? I'll be like, yeah, I know. I didn't ask you any questions because I was scared to death of what the hell, I didn't want to transcribe your 10-minute answer and not say nothing. It was totally different with Matt Patricia because he would just talk and talk and talk and talk and not say anything. Literally to use 1,000 words to say nothing. I felt so bad for these writers transcribing that. I'm like, I'm not transcribing that. That guy ain't saying squat. But I asked him, I asked him an ill-timed question. I asked him if the Lions gave him a vote of confidence after a game. And another reporter came up to me and said, that's a good question, but nobody ever asked that here. I said, well, I did. I asked Matt Patricia, you talked about your relationship with ownership. Did they kind of give you assurances you're going to be back next year? And he gave, a coach speak answer. That was a back of the room question. That was kind of funny. The good old days. But, you say it because, for those of you that stuck with it, now you know what I'm about. I'm not trying to do this for attention. I'm not trying to make a name for myself. I'm just fine. I'm a regular guy that just wants to ask questions that you guys want to know. And I'll ask it. So how concerned are you? So let's get out of here on this. The Lions lose. They're now, I want to know in the comments when we're done. And for the last people in here, smash the like button. I want to know, what's your concern level? What's the future look like? What is the next couple of weeks? Is it over? Are the Cowboys going to come in and just get revenge for what we did to them last year? Are they going to smell the weakness and get after it? Are the Lions going to rebound? Is Frank Ragnow going to give a spark? Like, I think a loss like this kills the spark. Guys, tomorrow's Vito's column is not going to be all that nice. You know the headline. You know what's in your head because you're thinking it right now. If I say to you right now, Frank Ragnow, the sentence that comes into your head, that's what we're going to write about. So check it tomorrow. We'll have a lot of Dan Campbell's comments, Jared Goff's comments, what happened with the officiating and the disastrous pool report that they gave out. What does it mean? There is hope in regards to getting to the playoffs, but that's about it. In regards to your realistic expectation, let your heart believe, okay, they probably are a playoff team, but a deep winning playoff team, you need work. You need help. You need adjustments. Not playing like this, calling games like this. Demand Dice. Happy Thanksgiving. Want to give a shout out to those that stayed. Common Sense, Demand, Lazy Link, TJ Woo, TJ Woo Wit, Steve O Baby, Dolo Dynamite, Zolly, AG's Burner, DM5 TV, AG's Burner, Anne Marie ER, Noah, Trey Day, Sports Mannerisms, Elena. Love it. Elena McCullum, first time reading your comment. Hope to see you in the comments. Dabs. Dabs gambler mentality is their downfall when you don't have the personnel. Simple as that. Yeah, I don't mean Dan's. Steve Chimenti, Chisholm, Broski Bear. Appreciate everybody. Phil C. Appreciate everybody in here. Hassanin Mahdi. Always love reading your comments. Have a great night. John, you are honest, straightforward, loyal, caring, smart. You're all goods, baby. Your mom's praying for you. Absolutely. That's it. I think it comes across as a regular guy just talking about the Lions. Bad loss, disappointing loss. And listen, it's the end of the night. Are we still down with this Thanksgiving shit? Like, listen, we lose on Thanksgiving every year. Every year we have to drink and piss and listen to our nephew. Now my nephew is getting into it. He's 15 years old, Mr. Mahdi. He's 15 years old. He's like, what is this? He's seen one win on Thanksgiving in like 8 years. Loss. And now they're pushing it back. Please, NFL, if you're going to kick us in the nuts a little earlier. Make it a noon game, 12 noon. We wake up, we find out which uncle we got to talk to that we don't like, which uncle we know we can't talk politics with, which uncle we know we can't hit on his girlfriend, which uncle's going to pay the escort to come to the family visit. We know the craziness we got to deal with, and we don't want to wait till 1 o'clock to deal with the Lions getting screwed. Let us get to our family at noon, watch the Lions get screwed, talk to your uncle and his fake girlfriend, and then get the hell out of there at 3:30. The hell? If they consider moving the Lions to a 4:30 or 8:30, get the hell out of here. No fan in Detroit would accept that. Listen, it's become a tradition of losing. I'm down for like just taking a year off. Take a year off. Let us enjoy Thanksgiving once. Just say, okay, you get a year off where you just get to enjoy Thanksgiving without football. And then come right back at it and we'll get kicked in the nuts one more time. Like I said, today was tough because you had the Packers coach trolling us with the wink. Didn't need to see that. All the things that football fans in Detroit don't like came to fruition. You got to see Micah Parsons, who we were all jealous of. 2.5 sacks, impactful game. Aiden Hutchinson, not as impactful. And then you had your defensive line and offensive line not win the battles as much as the Packers did. The Packers come to your house and win, and it was a must-win game for the division. You're not going to win the division. And also, too, you got your best player hurt. That sucks. And what also sucks is that your coach has not risen yet to the level of the expertise that he's going to become yet. He's stagnated a little bit with all the extra responsibilities and the play calls and things didn't go right, and your personnel, because your general manager has not the general manager has not done enough at certain spots to make the team have enough depth that you would like. It's not just a small feat that Mekhi Wingo, Josh Pascal are not in the lineup, and Pascal won't play this year. That's 2 defensive linemen. You don't think if they hit on those 2 guys that were defensive linemen that the Lions could be better? That's just 2 on the roster. Mekhi Wingo's a healthy scratch all year. You got him in one game, and he was a healthy scratch all year. So we're going to point it out. It's disappointing. It's a gut punch. It's a little bit deflating, but there's opportunity to right the ship and play a little bit better and make better decisions. Give the team the best opportunity to have success. It's going to be a struggle. We all know it. But help the team out. Thank you, guys. 2 hours and 45 minutes. I don't even think that I felt it. I could probably do another 2 hours and 45 minutes and talk about other things. Meek Robertson and, the game that he had, the linebackers, the up and down play, a little bit of the defense. But I think we got the gist of it over the last 2 hours and 45 minutes. I feel better. Let me give you a little sample. Tomorrow, there's no media. Let's just say be around in the morning time on Saturday. Let's say I want to say an interesting person that you guys care about will speak, and there's a Michigan game on, and I will arrive at that facility in Ann Arbor around this time. But that's an important time, too, for information on Saturday to also come out. Got it? So now you guys are the first to know a time. Now, hopefully you guys understand what that time means on Saturday. But Dan, hopefully, will have an opportunity to address my questions or the questions that arise on Saturday. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, smash the like button. 700 people listened in to the end. That's awesome. You went from 200 to 700. 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I want to check out. So Booner Scream just head off at the post show. I'll listen to that a little bit. Any good streams out there that similar to mine, just reacting, doing it? I definitely will check out Crunch Time, Woodward Sports, check in a little bit with what everybody said, the radio. But I mean, I know their reactions. Disappointment. Thank you for making me a small part of the YouTube community. I feel appreciated. You guys have been gracious with the super chat, the memberships, sticking in and listening to me talk about myself a little bit and ramble and tell stories. And I appreciate the opportunity to have a little time, a little slice of your time every single Detroit Lions game. And like I said, I am a Detroit Lions reporter. I go out of my way. It takes me an hour to get to the Lions facility every day. It's a grind. I battle the 9-4. Some days I win the battle. Some days I don't. That 9-4 battle is crazy. Y'all hate me on the south field. I mean, I'm going 74 and in the left lane. I'm trying to get over, but there's all these darn trucks and y'all trying to go 105 and trying to ride up my ass. Holy cow, you guys hate me. You give me every kind of finger on that south field. And I'm nice, no fingers back. I just put my head down and try to get over as fast as possible. So I avoid the south field. But 9-4 is crazy. All those little cars that are burnt out, sticking in the road takes another 20 minutes. So you guys realize I drive sometimes an hour to an hour and a half to cover the Lions and bring you information. And I think you've rewarded that loyalty with listening in, being part of our Lions Lone Wolves community, listening in, being willing to engage in conversation, talk about the Detroit Lions in a respectful, honest way, and share your opinion, good, bad, or indifferent. You don't have to agree with me. If you totally disagree with everything that I said, tell me why you're hopeful. Tell me why the Super Bowl bus still is in town here in Detroit. I'll listen to it and just check the comments. If you want to know about the doc and you want to formulate your opinion from other people that don't know me, look at the comments in the videos that you peek in. You'll always see our symbol on 98% of the comments that come through. You'll see that little blue symbol. That's me. An hour to an hour and a half of my day I dedicate to say, holy crap, these people are answering. I need to answer too. That's the trade-off is you comment, I respond. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless. The Lions aren't the source of happiness, but you know what can be? Booze, creme brulee, pecan pie, pecan apple pie. Holy cow. Eat, drink, be merry. And let's check back in soon. And all you got to do is listen. The scroll is right here. Just listen to the scroll. si.com/NFL/Lions on SI. It's free. The videos here are free. Go to @Detroit Podcast for all of the information you need to know when the shows are going to be on or what stories are being written by who. It's all there on X. But if you want, comment here and we'll give you all the information. We'll have some banter. And like I said, you're getting honest coverage, and that's the best I can do. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I think it's time for a ham sandwich, isn't it? Are you hungry? Peace.